Hey guys, it's From Nothing. Welcome to the Empire. Alright, I don't got a whole lot watching at this moment yet, but for those of you who are subscribed to me, I'm sure you know that the title is completely untrue, obviously, but I'm trying not to stream, like, too much to the point where it's, like, blowing up your phone, notifying every time, I'm trying not to get that way, but sometimes I just have to let it out, It's moments like these where I just have to let it out, have to talk to you guys, have to get your opinions and stuff. Alright, first of all, like I said, I'm sure most of you know, I'm no Afrocentric. That's why most people come to this channel, because I teach true, unbiased history. I teach history about Africans, I back it up with sources and references, and I most certainly am not Afrocentric, I don't say, never, you know what, actually right now, for anyone who is watching this who thinks I am Afrocentric, or anyone who may watch this later on when it's archived, I challenge you to find one part of any of my videos, quote it, link me to the direct spot in the video when I say it, to where I'm saying blacks are supreme or blacks are better, or any of that nonsense. I just basically had a troll on one of my videos telling me that on my top 5 achievements by Africans, everything I had was backed up by Harvard University, the National Library of Medicine, PBS, the Guinness Book of World Records, just to name a few. I quoted the names of the archaeologists, the names of the researchers, the years they lived, the years they made the discoveries, I did everything right. And even still, I had this guy saying, "Wow, you're lying. These are nothing but lies. You're an Afrocentrist. You're a black supremacist." He literally called me a black supremacist. And I'm like, dude, I backed everything up with references. Like, how is this a lie? And he said, "Yeah, right, you didn't back anything up." I'm like, I could give you the links, but would you even click them at all? So basically, this is going to be next week's topic on Monday. Why Afrocentric people make all of us suffer. And another thing that people fail to see, not sure who's actively watching this, but I want to hear you guys' opinions. It's a little ridiculous these days. You cannot say anything, not even the slightest thing, implying that Africans were more than just mud hut dwelling barbaric tribesmen, or you will get labeled as a black supremacist. It's crazy. So I'm just letting you guys know right now. Next week topic, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be 9 to 10 p.m. Western Europe or Western African time zones, UTC. We're going to be discussing why Afrocentric people make people like me, or home team history, who teach actual factual history, suffer. Maybe put those facts in the video slides instead of links. You know what? Oh, in the video slides, I did. I put okay, I'll play 2 videos for you guys. Let's bring out the big screen. Okay, so the big screen. Oh crap, my camera's all sorts of messed up. Oh boy, that doesn't look good at all. I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry you gotta see this. That is ugly. Oh, let me fix that. That is ugly. Okay, there. That's a little better. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, let's bring out the big screen and check this out. Okay, so I put this video together a few months back. It's one of my most popular videos. And hello everyone, it's Jabari here. And first of all, I basically talk about how Afrocentric people, as you can see, 1,000 subscribers. I've come a long way in those few months. I'm pretty happy. Thanks for all the support, guys. I really appreciate the support. We're up to 3K now, 3K subscribers, and this video was only posted a few months ago. So, anyway, I mean, look at my total channel views. 88,000 at that time. Those were my total views. I have 100,000 on just one video now. So again, I can't tell you guys how happy that makes me. So anyway, delving off topic. this whole video, top 5 reason why Afrocentric people are toxic from a black perspective. Let me just play the first part of the video for you guys really quick. I'd like to thank everyone for helping me reach my goal closer on gift. I could not just comment the video as regularly, but as then you will be eligible. Somewhat, not completely, but somewhat of a rant video. If you're new to you know them. Alright, so I'll go over this first part. So just listen to this. You are a regular, you probably already know that my agenda with this channel is to spread knowledge of the ignored, neglected, and misunderstood aspects of black culture and history. Not just to black people, but to everyone of every race and from every part of the world. However, there tends to be a toxic trend among many black African enthusiasts, or Afrocentrists, trying to assert outrageous claims towards our people and our history. Unfortunately, comments like these tend to find a home in my comment section every day. These comments do more harm than good, and just make the world and our own people have even less respect for our culture and history, and make channels like mine, which actually bear factual information, less credible, especially to random viewers who come here seeking knowledge. These unfortunate people are so shrouded with pseudo-historic, Afrocentric information that they end up very confused and don't even know what to believe anymore. From claiming the history. So yeah, basically, you know, I went over the fact, just to summarize that. I mean, I went over the fact that I teach factual information that can be backed up with sources and references. You can read a book, you can find it in a college, and because of Afrocentric idiots, I get labeled as an Afrocentric or a black supremacist, and it's just absolutely insane to me. But just to summarize this video, they usually claim that our history is being hidden, like we were the original. You know, there's so many great civilizations like the Greek civilization and the Japanese civilization that we founded. They claim that all that stuff was happening, but Whitey hid it from us, you know. And because of people like that, it doesn't matter what I say, what I do, what video I upload, there are so many people who come in my videos and immediately assume that I'm an Afrocentric person, claiming those things too. I'm like, dude, no, I don't claim we founded the Greek civilization or the Japanese or we was kings, you know, or my ancestor created the damn samurais. I don't claim any of that stuff, but because of those idiots, people come to my videos and assume that I am. I don't do any of that. I never tear down Europeans, claiming Europeans are somehow inferior to us and we're better and we taught them this. And no, if we did teach them anything, I'm gonna say it. For example, in my other video, let's bring it up right now. Actually, let's see. Top 5 moves. I just don't feel like going through all my user panels and stuff like that. I know I could have just done that, but I don't want to accidentally end up getting up some information, you know. So yeah, top 5 achievements by Africans. One good example of achievement that we did teach to the West, which again, I'm not claiming makes us better, I'm just pointing it out because it's a fact, backed up by Harvard University, you know? No big deal, you know, Harvard University, it's obviously like a black supremacist organization, right? Supremacist. So, original Joanne, so, yeah, don't, try to keep the language to a minimum in my chat, Black Roni. But yeah. Sir, I know Japan where black DNA chased them related to Melanesian. Melanesians aren't black though. They're related more to Asians. They're more related to Indian people than Africans. That's the thing. Even people on the Polynesian islands who have kinky hair and black skin, they're more genetically similar to Asians than Africans. Well, okay, black is a broad term. That's a topic for a different video. Sorry for the opinion-based comment, but black, from a general United States or Western European standpoint on black, it refers to someone of sub-Saharan African origin. That's what black generally means. I think really the only major exception to that rule would typically be Australians when in reference to Aborigines. But anyway, we could discuss that later. You know, we're entitled to our own opinions. I'm just going based off of what most people, the majority, usually says. So anyway, my point is they're not related to Africans, and that's what I'm discussing. the Afrocentric people are claiming Africans, and they're claiming all blacks around the entire world are all one race. We all belong together. We're all culturally similar. That's not that's not true. We're not all culturally similar. A black person from Melanesia won't speak the same language, have the same religion, have the same rituals, have the same DNA, have the same anything as black people, aside from skin color and hair texture. That's it, you know. And those are very superficial. Anyway, like I said, we could discuss that in a different video. But here are a few. The dinosaurs were black. Yeah, the dinosaurs was black too, man. You know. I like your channel, by the way. Thank you, Joanne. Like I said, so anyway, smallpox inoculation. I'm gonna go ahead and play this in one section of the video. Smallpox inoculation, backed up by Harvard University. Smallpox is a disease that is virtually eradicated in most of the world's developed nations, and only still exists in the fringes of third world countries. Like the C-section, most of you probably assume that only modern advances in medicine made it possible to grant immunity to the disease. Early instances of smallpox inoculation have been documented in ancient China and India. West Africans not only practice smallpox inoculation independently, but are also the ones credited with teaching it to the West. According to an article published by Harvard University, a preacher by the name of Cotton Mather had an African-born slave whom he called Wenzemis. Wenzemis belonged to an ethnic group known as the Akan. At the time, these were the same people who controlled the wealthy Ashanti Kingdom in what is now modern-day Ghana. In 1716, he told Cotton Mather about a procedure that was conducted on him and all of the children of his village, in which a small amount of fluid from the diseased skin of an infected individual was applied within a small cut of an uninfected individual. He also claimed that the effects of the disease were significantly less severe when contracted through the skin rather than the air, and that immunity would be granted after the recovery. Just 6 years later, a smallpox outbreak ravaged the city of Boston. Cotton Mather urged local doctors to inoculate their patients, utilizing the method taught to him by Wenzemis. Upon learning that it was taught to him by his slave, most people shied away from it. In the aftermath, over 14% of those who were non-inoculated succumbed to the disease, while nearly 98% of those who were inoculated survived. Cotton Mather later received honors for this method and traveled to London in 1725, being elected to the Royal Society, despite the fact that it was taught to him by Wenzemis. Dr. William Cornwallis Harris and Dr. Pettit also observed the practice being conducted by the Tigray and Amhara people of Ethiopia during a French scientific mission in the year 1839. So yeah, anyway, I backed it up with Harvard University. I gave the names of the people, Wenzemis, Cotton Mather. I gave the dates. I gave the locations. I gave the facts. I gave everything. You could literally Google anything I said and you will find information on it. You know? Amish player, this was your message was deleted. Oh, you posted a link. Yeah. I really need to change that default message. That's dumb. Yeah, you can't post links in my chat without permission, Amish. You know, I'm not gonna ban you over it, but just ask next time, and myself or a moderator will do it for you. You look tired. It's probably because my camera is slightly over my computer. So when I'm looking down at my stream, I kind of look like, you know, like if I'm looking straight at the camera, you know, I don't look so tired now, do I? Anyway, so you guys see what I mean though, right? I backed up everything, and because of the Afrocentric idiots that pollute the internet, I get labeled as one. Yeah, I don't know what you. I'll just look at I'll see what message you. It blocked your message, but I can look at it. Give me a second. It says all I know. You won't even let me post it for you. But it says Amish Valeria said all I know darkest people in the world are from. I guess you meant Andaman Islands. You said Andaman Islands, and that is in Asia. You can be black and not African. Even blacks in Africa are not all related. I get that, Amish, but my point is you can go from top to bottom of Africa and people will have significantly more linguistic, cultural, and genetic significances with one another than they would to someone from Andaman Islands. Andaman Islands will be more related to someone from like China than an African. So if you're categorizing people solely based on their skin color, then that's why your opinions differ from others. If they're your opinions, you know, I respect them. I'm just saying, like, I don't look at an Andaman Islander and say, oh, he's my brother because we're both black. We have the same color skin, which means we're related. We have his history and his accomplishments are a direct relation to mine. I mean, don't get me wrong. We share the same history of humanity as a whole, but if you're categorizing cultural achievements, we're not in the same category because they're an entirely different culture from ours. Africans, despite having the same skin color, their history has nothing to do with Andaman Islanders or Melanesians. That's all I'm saying. What's up, little potato? Especially those. Not sure. It hid your message. Especially those Aboriginals, but people just want to talk. Yeah, you cursed. Yeah, try to keep the language to a minimum, like I said, Black Roni. No big deal. Not gonna like ban you over it, but just yeah, your comments are getting blocked if you curse, because I do have younger people who watch my chat. Are you trying to say all Africans have the same culture? No. When did I say that? I literally broke it down for you, Amish. I said from top to bottom of Africa, there will be stronger. I never said it would be the same. I mean, please, like, I'm sure someone else heard me say it. I said there will be stronger cultural, linguistic, and physical similarities from top to bottom of Africa. I didn't say it would be the same. It would just be significantly stronger. Like, for example, the Bantu people can be found on every square inch of the continent. The Bantu people. You're not gonna find a Bantu on the Andaman Islands in India, you know? It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, another thing, I'm gonna play another clip for you guys. Let's go back to... Oh, crap. Let's go back to the Afrocentric. Hello, everyone. So yeah, we're gonna play this last clip of this video. Being racist towards racists. I'm gonna explain to you how it's wrong. People who do any and everything they can to prove that white people are evil, primitive, barbaric, or uncivilized, and that we somehow save them from their lives of savagery. Remember what I said about two wrongs don't make a right? Just like stealing history from others is wrong, racism is also wrong. Being a victim of it does not justify doing it to others. However, when it comes to these bigoted people, their primary agenda is to spread hatred towards whites and prove to the world that they are terrible human beings or monstrous entities. Sure, whites don't have the best track record when it comes to racism, genocide, or conquest, and in fact, they're probably responsible for the most mass deaths in all of human history. However, it wasn't their skin that did any of that. It was their civilizations and their cultures. It wasn't some collective 100% anti-colored, all-white effort that did it. Every human being is unique, and it's okay to hate the racists, but don't hate the race. If I meet a racist white guy, I have just as little respect for him as I would for you if you behave that way towards his race. I love all human beings on an individual basis, and until that individual loses my respect, he or she will continue to be loved by me regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, or nationality. If you believe that someone is inherently inferior to you in any way strictly due to their skin color, then you are an idiot, plain and simple. Oh, and I know this is supposed to be a top 5. Alright, so yeah. Anyway, let's take the big screen back away. I think you guys, that's enough of the video examples for now. Bantu is not even an ethnic group. It's not, but it's similar to, like, you know, Celtic peoples of Europe, for example, or Germanic, or, you know, or Latin people. They cover several different cultures and languages, such as, like, Latin covers Italian, French, Portuguese, Romanian, for example. All those fall within the Latin, or the Romance group, you know? So, a lot of people in Africa are not Aboriginal. Yeah, in Northern Africa, there are some people who came from, like, you know, Western Asia. But my point is, Amish, all I'm trying to say is just because you look at someone's skin and it's the same color as yours does not put you in the same cultural, racial, or historical category. That's all I'm saying. Like if you say, oh, black people were there first, blah blah blah, the natural human assumption is gonna be that you're referring to not someone who just has black skin, because there's a lot more that defines a race than just the color. That's all I'm saying. Bantu, yeah, exactly. It's like a Afro man. It's like it's a language family. It's a big group of people. It encompasses several different cultures and ethnic groups, but they're all related. That's the key. They're all related to one another. Andaman people are not related to Africans. Black don't mean African. This is not. You keep saying that over and over. I get it. I explained it. No matter how many times I explain it, you just don't seem to get it. Everybody else seems to get it. So I mean, again, it's your opinion. I'm not gonna try to change your opinion anymore because you clearly don't really understand what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're trying to claim, I'm just gonna make one last attempt. If you're trying to claim, for example, say some Polynesians with black skin built a castle, and you say, oh, my people built the castle. They weren't your people. They weren't. They're not related to you whatsoever. I mean, just because their skin's the same color doesn't mean they're related to you. That's all I'm saying. Indians are very different genetically from Europeans, yet they speak Indo-European language. Not talking to you, bro. I'm talking to that guy in the chat. Yeah, exactly. They look a lot different from Europeans, but they speak similar languages. They have similar history, similar genes, you know. They're different, but they're similar. They're a hell of a lot more similar to the genes of a dark-skinned Indian are more similar to a European than the genes of an African are to an Andaman Islander. Like, you know, that's all I'm trying to say. You're great, mostly Iris, but I love all history. You give great content and are very thorough. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that, Patrick. And this is why it saddens me when people come to my live streams and not my streams, not yet at least, but my videos, and automatically label me as a black supremacist. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I never do anything implying, oh, we were the original Greeks, and we were the original samurai, and Whitey done learned all his stuff from us. I never do that kind of stuff, but I always get treated as if I do. You know what? I was gonna do this topic Monday, but I just, you know, this is unscripted, unplanned. I had so much on my mind about this. Maybe this is how I should do my live streams from now on, you know? Just when I'm reading a comment, it just really triggers me, bam, I'm just gonna turn on the stream. In Africa, you define by ethnicity. Yeah, I know. But either way, you're still black. That's my point. You're still black. Like in Europe, you define, oh, I'm German. Bonjour, I'm French, you know, but you're still white. You're still white. If someone goes to Europe and says, hey, what race are you? They'll be like, I'm white. But if you say they're British, then they'll be like, no, I'm French. What are you talking about? So, Europeans and light-skinned Indians both descend from Indo-European Aryan race. Yep, I don't know. I guess they assumed that was a racial comment. It hid that for review. How do you explain the visual similarities? Easy. We're all human beings. Human beings have, Native Americans don't speak Indo-European. No, they don't. We're all human beings. Like, you can meet a white guy with a nose like mine, or you can meet a black guy with lips like this. You know, we're all human beings, so we all do carry similar genes. It's just that they're more pronounced in some races than others, depending on things like climate and isolation. Okay, I can't. The chat's going a little fast. I'm trying to keep up. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Same to you guys. You know. See, I got my little turkey dinner sitting right here, courtesy of the Imperial Kitchen. They were hard at work, you know, preparing this for me. Me and all the other royal members of the Empire. So just give a shout out to those people, those servants. Mali, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal do not speak Bantu languages, and this is where most African Americans are from. I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. But they're all Niger-Congo languages, though. Bantu is a very loosely defined word. There is no solid definition of it. But due to the fact that they all speak in Niger-Congo languages is probably the better word to use. Niger-Congo makes up most African languages, like all the way from the Sahel region to the very tip of the African continent. Speak Niger-Congo languages with a few isolated pockets of other languages mixed in, like the Khoisan languages, for example. Sorry, but India was first called East Ethiopia by Greeks and Kush himself. Well, that's probably because they had barely seen anyone but their own people before, and then when they saw Indians, they're like, "Oh, look at those people, they're dark." That's probably like the first thing they noticed, they're dark. And then they probably compared them to other dark people. I doubt they did any scientific or genetic analysis on these people. I'm gonna start skimming through. I can't keep up to this chat, guys. Hausa of Mali is Afro-Asiatic. Yeah, it is. It's an Afro-Asiatic language. And that's more likely because they mixed with way back in the day. They probably mixed with people from the Middle East, Arabic people, more specifically, because Arabic is an Afro-Asiatic language. I'm glad to see you do a live video. Thank you, Rainbow Bright. This will be my 4th one. First one was an unplanned, unscripted. It was a test stream. Second one was planned and scripted. And I don't know. I'm kind of liking the freestyle thing, you know. This one's unplanned and unscripted too. And I'm really it feels so much more natural, you know what I mean? They're one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa, if not. Yeah, the Yoruba are pretty close, a pretty close second behind the Hausa, but the biggest ethnic group in Africa would definitely be, aside from foreign ones like the Afrikaans people, which are technically Dutch people. Aside from them, Arabs of the North. Basically, the biggest black African ethnic groups would be people like the Swahili, which I guess that's not really an actual ethnic. Well, no, that's more like a language. But the Hausa, and the Yoruba are two of the largest for sure. Is it true that Indian and Aboriginal people of Australia have an African phenotype? No, it is not true. However, Australian Aborigines are some of their closest relatives that weren't isolated on Australia. Some of their closest relatives can be found in India, actually. I have to disagree with you. Why Europeans, Indians, and Middle Eastern Aryans have similar features, more so than with other races? I'm not sure who those are applied to. Sir, all Afro-Asiatic people believe origins in Horn of Africa rather than Berber, Hebrew, Somali, or Coptic. No, I'm not saying that their origins were elsewhere. I'm saying that they admixed with people from foreign regions. Like, for example, if you go to Southern Africa, you will see a lot of people who have their languages, cultures, and genetic makeup are mixtures of Bantu people and Khoisan people because of admixture. So people in the Horn of Africa, their civilizations, their ways of life, all grew and developed on the Horn of Africa, but foreigners, you know, through trade and intermarriage and invasions and all that good stuff throughout time, their genetic makeup changed. That's all I was saying. I'm not claiming like a big group of horsemen came from Arabia and took them over. Why is my green screen so messed up tonight? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry you have to see this. This probably looks very very unprofessional. Whatever, we'll fix it later. They don't even look the same. I'll have to disagree with you on that. Of course they don't look the same. Time and that mixture changes, but they clearly come from the same stock. Does the swastika have a similar meaning around the world, or is it just something people took with them like bows and tools? I think, I mean, a symbol like that can independently develop in multiple places. Similar to like the cross, for example. They found crosses in Mesoamerica, even though the Native Americans clearly weren't Christians. You know, they found them in Mesoamerica where they believed that they had to chop out people's hearts and kick their bodies down pyramids to make the sun rise. You know, like, yeah, they had crosses. So, you know, some objects can easily. Bows and arrows, for example, were independently developed. They were invented in Africa tens of thousands of years before they were invented independently in the Americas, for example. I'm even sure about this one. I've never seen something that says Indians are closely related to Europeans. They are. That's why it's called the Indo-European language group, because Indians and Europeans all have a super family of languages. Europeans are actually genetically classified as Caucasians. I mean, you could literally paint an Indian person's skin white, and you probably wouldn't even be able to tell they were Indian. Like, it seems fairly obvious to me. Similar languages, similar features. The only major feature to them, the only major difference is their skin color. European girls and Indo-Aryans clearly have the same Caucasoid features that they simply can't chalk up to environmental factors. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Swastika means life. Cross predates Christianity. Like I said, you know, there are signs and symbols like the swastika, the cross, stuff like that. They've been all around the world independently because they're fairly simplistic looking symbols. I mean, let's be real. Literally go Google Bollywood, Northern India actors, Mediterranean, Northern Europeans, and you'll see this striking similarities. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just thought, Join, aren't you against Afrocentrism? Like, didn't you make a video against it? Yes, Noah. The title is the title is basically, I started this video with a rant about how people keep labeling me as an Afrocentric, and I pretty much just went on a long thing about. I'll archive it later if you want to look back at it later, but basically I went on a long thing just showing how much of idiots people are for calling me Afrocentric. On Monday, we're going to go in depth a little more on this topic. All these labels created by who? I just joined. Oh yeah, I already read that. All these labels created by who? Scientists. You know, people do research. People do genetic studies, DNA tests, find lineages. Like, they say that the place where the greatest amount of genetic diversity is shared by all of mankind is down in southeastern Africa, in the Khoisan ethnic groups. Like, DNA confirms that. Like, they are the seed of the whole human gene pool. And you know, certain groups would move out, and it would basically lessen the diversity as they moved and expanded into other regions of the world. Proud black global nationalist. Are you saying you're a proud global nationalist? I mean, you can be proud to be black, but, you know, when it comes to nationalists, you know, you just to claim your people are better or something, I will have to respectfully disagree. Why do many sub-Saharan Africans, Melanesians, and Negroes have similar physical features? Simple, climate, you know? They believe that people in like places like the Andaman Islands and Negritos were isolated for so long that they didn't, unlike most of mankind, they weren't really afforded opportunities to admix with other racial groups. So they were some of the purest, untamed, untouched groups of humans in the world. I mean, it's the same with, for example, a Native American has fairly similar features to an Arabic person, despite the fact that they live on two different continents, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they have the same, but they have fairly similar. You know, brown skin, prominent noses, black hair, you know, so. It's not a lie. The sand theory has been debunked. I mean, you can believe what you want to believe. I just go off of facts that can be backed up from books and accredited sources. So, I mean, that's where I get my information from. You know, I don't go to random shady forums and read on stuff. I love my big nose. Where are you from? Oh, wait, you're talking about big as in, like, wide, or big as in, like, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, climate does affect physical characteristics, but genetic testing has shown they are most closely related to their African cousins. What, the Melanesians and Negritos? No, when it comes to the two biggest groups in the world that are the most distantly related would be Negroids and Australoids. Despite the fact that they're both black, Um, Australian Aborigines are more genetically similar to every other racial group in the world besides Africans. Africans are their most distant people, and they believe that's because they've been when they migrated out of Africa, they traveled up through Asia and into Australia 50,000 years ago. And obviously they didn't just all go in a big pack, just dun, 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 and march straight to Australia and leave. No, like some of them would stop in Middle East, some would stop in India, and grow their own populations, their own civilizations and stuff. So, basically, naturally, that would make them more genetically similar to Asians than Africans. They are so genetically different because they were the first to leave Africa. Exactly. Exactly. Could you look at my question, please? Oh, I'm sorry. Rainbow, it's kind of hard to keep up with the chat. What was your question? Do you honestly believe that Negro, Caucasoid, etc. Classifications dictate how related populations are? To an extent, yes, to an extent. Because we're all, and at the end of the day, we're all humans. You can find just about any gene in one race that you can in another, just in varying degrees. For example, you could find a light-skinned black person. Will you find one? Probably not. You're gonna have a lot of trouble, but you can, because they're humans. They carry that gene. You can find a white person with a wide nose and big nostrils like me. Will you? Probably not, but you can. It's possible. It's going to happen sometimes, because we all carry the same genes. Last when the schools are teaching about Egypt and Nubia, they really have no information at all on Nubia, and when they do, the information is not much. It's biases. It's historical biases, and they still linger to this day. Actually, the 25th dynasty of Egypt was actually a Nubian dynasty. And even the Egyptian Museum themselves do not display the 25th dynasty within their museum. They completely skip it. They have the 24th and then the 26th. They skip the 25th. They will go over the eras where the Greeks and the Romans conquered them, where Arabs conquered them. But the 25th dynasty, they will not show. It's what European imperialism has done to the worldview on the sub-Saharan Black African. It's made people have no respect and claim no pride or attachment to us. I work as a substitute teacher, and it's like they're not trying to give much information or sub-Saharan African successful countries or sub-Saharan African successful countries. Exactly. That's why I made this channel in the first place. My first video that really got me somewhat known was called "Black People Had No History Before Slavery?" with a question mark, and I basically covered how it's never taught in schools and stuff. My girlfriend's actually a teacher too, and she said that in schools they're not even allowing them to teach about the Trail of Tears anymore. Like they're simply not allowed to teach it. They have to teach their students that she's a teacher, she's not making this crap up. She's a teacher, and she has her curriculum that she can and cannot teach. She cannot teach about the Trail of Tears, and instead they have to teach that the Native Americans willingly moved to the West to make room for the Europeans. That's what they have to basically lie to the students. It's crazy how Afrocentric or Eurocentric the world is. Alright, your message was held to review. They do not teach about the Trail of Tears anymore. They tell the children that they ask the Native Americans to leave and expand. Yeah, exactly what I just said. So, see, you got the opinion from two different teachers. My girlfriend and Rainbow Bright. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how corrupted the education system is. Afro Man, this guy on live using Jew anthropology labels? I don't know. Sounded like it may have potentially been like, targeting some kind of race or something. I don't know. I didn't see the context of it, but kind of try to tune that guy down, guys. Don't want to turn this into a toxic race war or anything. Before it was Egypt, it was a land of Twa, and later a land of Tasseti. I hate those labels. They were made by Europeans so they could classify people the best way it suits them. The way Caucasian is classified has changed so much over the past couple decades. Yeah, they did it because, for example, slavery was an institutionalized system based on race, based on the notion that the Negro was inferior to the Caucasian. That was the whole reason behind it. Wait, could you repeat that last thing you said about the 25th dynasty? the 25th dynasty in the Egyptian National Museum is skipped. They show the 24th or the 24th, and then they skip the 25th and go to the 26th, because the 25th dynasty is when the kingdom of Kush, aka Nubia, conquered Egypt. And they don't show it in there. Like, I guess it's just the shame of it, I guess. They will show the periods where they were conquered by the Greeks and the Romans and the Persians, and but never, or well, maybe not Persians, Arabic people, but never, but they won't show the period where they were conquered by the Nubians. The same problem with pre-Christian Ireland, no history before Germanic people came. Africa so diverse, but they group almost all Africans with Negroid. Yeah, and that's another thing. Even the term itself, Negroid, just shows you how ignorant the system is. Caucasoid is based on the notion that whites began in the Caucasus Mountains. That's why it's called Caucasoid. It's a regional thing, Caucasoid. Mongoloid is based on a notion that Asians began in the Mongolian region. So they're based on regions, but then Negroid is just Negroid. They're black, yeah, you know. It's not a very good system. It was going in the right direction with the physical features and stuff, but it was definitely just basing black people, mostly basing them off of race. Like, a lot of people even group up Australoids as a sub branch of the Negroid race, even though they are nothing like black Africans. They are nothing like us, minus their skin color. Everything else is different. Their nose, their lips, their eyes, their hair texture, their bone structure, their eye, like, everything's different. What's your level of education? I'm a student. I'm working on my associates in digital multimedia technology. So, I mean, most of what I talk about in these videos is self-taught. But like I said, I do research. I always back it up with accredited sources. I'm not gonna just go onto some random forum and be like, oh, that seems like a good point. Oh, this guy put two statues right next to each other and they look similar. That means those two cultures are related. You know, like, I always make sure I back my stuff. And if I see something that may possibly show a link or something, then I'll let people know. There's no evidence, but this is interesting. Look at this. Even in the history books at the school that I work, they barely go over the success of Nubia head over Egypt and made it seem like it was something very minute. Yeah, that's black history as a whole. You know, they always have to downplay it. That was what the last live stream was about. Was the 25th dynasty the first people to conquer Egypt? No, they weren't. It was the first time the Nubians conquered Egypt, or, well, there may have been more, but I don't know about it. Sorry guys, I think I'm getting sick. I know you can probably hear how stuffy I am. Africa is so diverse with differing regions and environments, yet if people don't look like someone from Cameroon, they're somehow not African enough or Negro enough. We wouldn't subscribe to those labels. Yeah, but you know, if one of those same people commits a crime, for example, the Somali pirates, people will quickly call them African. They're like, oh, those Africans are being pirates and robbing people's boats. But if they're talking about like a palace, a really impressive palace that was built by Africans, they'll be like, nah, they're actually taught how to do that by Arabs. You know, it's kind of crazy. Africa so diverse. Already read that. Afro Man, can I follow you? I don't think you really have to ask to follow someone. Any thoughts on how whitewashed ancient Berbers are? By the way, speaking of follow, guys, for those of you who missed my brief stream earlier, I have probably gonna get behind on the comments by explaining this, but I have a system in the chat, a command system. Just somebody try it out right now. Hit ! Commands. Just hit that and press enter, and it'll bring up a list of commands that you can use within the chat. I strongly encourage you guys to use those because they're extremely useful. You can bring up my social media links that way, like ! Facebook, ! Twitter. You can become a patron that way. You can learn how to donate that way. I mean, somebody please just try it out. Like, don't make me beg. I really want you guys to utilize the system because it's going to be really important in the future, and it's also going to make things a lot easier for me. Like when people are asking about my like asking, oh, can I follow you on Facebook? What's your thing? It's just like, hit the Facebook command. It's there. Oh, can I follow you on Twitter? Hit the Twitter command. How old are you? Hit the crap. I forgot which one. I think it's the about command or bio. No, the bio command. Yes, make a video about the condom board. Yeah, my first and only patron at this moment, Suede Component, requested a condom Bornu video, so that's actually next in the queue of my videos. So you guys can expect that in the near future. Bear with me, I'm sorry, I'm texting through the voice app. It's fun, Rainbow, I do the same thing. Sometimes I just don't feel like fat fingering buttons over and over, you know. Alright, what did I miss? It's really sad how they let African American children believe that they didn't do anything to contribute to the world, let alone history. Yeah, they teach our history from slavery onwards. So basically we grow up with a perception, like when you hear the word black history, you immediately assume slavery, segregation, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, the end. You know, it's a very short and very uneven, like the sad history. We don't learn about the cool things we did. Like that's what's bad about it. Are people from the Middle East and India related to people from Europe? Yeah, to an extent. I mean, they're more related to one another than they are to Africans. I find it funny how most African Americans have a decent amount. Sometimes that's a 30% European DNA and they call us Negroes, but when they talk about East Africans or people who don't... Exactly, Afro man. Like I said, if it's something that benefits them, they will try to tear it down. But if it's something that shows how bad we are, like the crime rate in Somalia is really high, like, oh yeah, those are black people. Like, I mean, myself, I'm 90% African. I took a DNA test. I'm 90% African, I'm only 8% European. And 6% of that 8 is British. You know, yet, you know, you don't see me committing crimes. You don't see me being uneducated. You know, I'm doing something with my life. I'd like to consider myself an intelligent person, but I'm only 10% European, or 8%, I'm sorry. And I'm 1% Native American, 1% Central Asian. I'm 20% European, mostly Southern European. Cup of tea, mate. Yes, cup of tea. Cup of tea. I can't have a cup of tea right now. I have some water though. Water's a lot better for you, eh? Don't want to get bloody dehydrated. Probably a horrible accent, I know. You ever been on Pal Talk? I have not. It's timed up by night, but what did you say? There was 300 slave rebellions in America. Yeah, try to avoid from typing in like all caps, you know. Yeah, that's a spam filter. Try to avoid typing in all caps. It's very obnoxious. Could you do a video on scientific racism in the future? If you would like to request videos that requires that you be a tier 2 patron, aka a warrior to the empire, that's tier 2. Warriors to the empire on my Patreon account are the ones who can recommend video ideas that I will put in the queue and upload at a later date. And that's why I'm working on that condom Bornu. Like a guy told me the Fulani are not black enough because some of them have like a percent of Middle Eastern, yet they call me a Negro. Yeah, it's so strange. Like I said, it's biased. Okay, for some reason this chat's being really jumpy now. Sorry if I missed some of you guys' messages. I mean, feel free to ask again if I don't reply. Do you go by the name Reggie? Me? No. My name is Jabari. You know why Ethiopia was never conquered? Yes, because they defeated the Italians. The Italians attempted to conquer them, but then they defeated the Italians. They killed nearly the entire Italian military. Like, it was bad for them. It was so bad that the public of Italy, like, because they had full media coverage. It was in the year 1896, so there was full media coverage. There were newspapers. The public of Italy were outraged. They're like, what are you guys doing? You're sending all of our army over to a foreign country that doesn't want to be conquered and getting them all killed. Like, people lost their families and loved ones and stuff in this war. It was, it's definitely a very interesting case in the colonization of Africa. Bamoom is... I need to Make this chat a little bigger. It's kind of hard to see everything. Alright, there we go. I've heard of them. My DNA said I'm pretty closely related to them. Yeah, they're from northern Ghana, aren't they? I think. Weren't they the kingdom north that bordered the Ashanti Empire? I think they were actually conquered by the Ashanti at one point. I could be wrong, you know, don't quote me on that. Has anyone else noticed that they lump all blacks into one category, but if they're talking about whites, they were supposed to be specific, such as Italians, Dutch, Spanish? Yep, I have noticed that indeed. Like, I have people who even say Italians are not white. I'm like, yes, they are. I mean, just because some of them might have a little bit of tan in their skin doesn't mean they're not white. You say, I'm not white, I'm Italian. Maybe I should say, I'm not black, I'm American. That's how little sense that makes. What kind of animals have Africans domesticated? The donkey is believed to have been domesticated in Africa, but most African animals cannot be tamed because they're too aggressive. The reason being is, when people first moved out of Africa into continents like Europe and Asia, the animals were not familiar with humans, so they were more docile and easy to tame. African animals grew up alongside humans who were clearly smarter and clearly had spears and could kill them. So naturally, if you're going to evolve alongside something that's going to easily kill you, survival of the fittest. And so animals evolved to be extremely aggressive and extremely powerful in order to combat, you know, human beings. We've been with them for literally millions of years, from our earliest ancestors to modern humans. So they've basically evolved alongside of us, and they're just way too easily spooked and way too aggressive to be realistically tamed. So there are very few African animals that were tamed. Cattle, that's an unknown. There are cattle that have been in Africa for longer than, you know, like I said, there are some cases of domestication in Africa, but it's just generally speaking, when, for example, comparing a horse and a zebra, you can't tame a zebra. They're too easily spooked and they're too aggressive compared to horses. I'm thankful for this channel because I'm learning more and more about my people. Thank you, Rainbow. I appreciate that. Like, I really do. Actually, my girlfriend, like I said, she's a teacher, and when she's in Spain right now, actually, and when she gets back, she's coming back in early next month. We're actually going to be making some videos, some more child-friendly videos for her students. She's an elementary school teacher. So if you ever want to use any of my videos for your classroom and stuff, please do so, and just let me know, you know, let me know when you do. You're speaking ignorantly about current Africa. Kind of missing things. Alright, she keeps blocking your comments a lot. Like 3 times in a row. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say, but please tone it down a bit if it's something bad. Same with you, Mac Identity Extremist. Oh, wait. That's not even a bad comment. I'll show it. We're way off topic now, guys. Seriously, we're way off topic. The purpose of the stream was to explain how people tell me I'm Afrocentric, even though I'm clearly not. Why do you think that is? Yeah, I need to work on that chatbot. Amish, I apologize. That chatbot's a little too sensitive. But hey, it has stopped some racists in the past, so that's good. None of the racists have gotten through my filter yet. Hey Jabari, my name is Bakari. Oh really? That rhymes. Jabari Bakari. Jabari, did you learn how to 5-finger fillet in the army? No. 5-finger fillet, I'm not sure what that is. They're trying to shut down our conversation. No, I can go into the bot and edit some stuff. Don't worry. I'll change some of the stuff. It's still on default settings right now, so I just got this bot up like a few days ago. Because you try to remotely challenge people's current perceptions on African culture. What's Afrocentric? Afrocentric is basically just like Eurocentric, except it's with black people. Afrocentric people have a tendency to claim, like, they're the reason why people say we was kings. Black people, or Afrocentrics, tend to claim, like, the original Greeks were founded by blacks, or the Japanese culture was founded by blacks. Like I said, I'm going to touch more on this topic more in depth. I'm going to use some example videos on the big screen. Actually, I'll give you guys one little sample right now. I'll bring it up on the big screen right now. if it'll let me, which it doesn't seem to be letting me. God, okay. There we go. So yeah, bring out the big screen, and I'll show you guys one quick example of one of the things I'm going to be going over. Actually, let me hide the big screen for now. Alright, so, which, by the way, he blatantly, this guy, one of the guys I'm going to be talking about, blatantly stole one of Home Team History's videos, and that really, like, that legit triggers me. That gets under my skin, and he's making money off of it, you know? Alright, so I'm just going to read through some of his titles. I'll give his name and more details with Monday's stream, but for example, his videos are things like the art of ancient black Kemet, the original black Japanese, a Caucasian explains our black history. There are some worse ones. The first pirates were black, you know, just basically just constantly, like, literally every single culture around the world, or he's trying to claim was black. And he is way more popular than me. He has 40,000 subscribers, and he's probably making tons of money off these videos too. And they're not even his. Almost all of them are documentaries he just grabbed off the internet. So it's pretty bad. All right. So I'm probably way behind the chat now. Sorry guys. Let's see. The idiots on Historum are the worst. Oh, just out of curiosity, who here is from Historum? Who here found my videos from Historum? It's been so long since I've used that website. I kept getting banned on there, and I wasn't even doing anything wrong. Or well, let me rephrase that. I did something wrong one time, but it was unintentional. I was trying to get actors for my African animation, and apparently recruiting is against the rules. So I made a new account, and once they found out it was me, they banned me again. So I made another one for a third time, and eventually they found out it was me again and banned me again. And everybody, like, when I look back at Historum, I saw people saying like, "Rip, he got banned. He seemed harmless. He was good. He contributed to our topics. He brought life to the African section of the forum. These idiots keep banning him for no good reason." You know, it's crazy. You know, I bet you anything. I mean, not trying to turn this into a race war, but I bet you anything, if I was talking about European history, I was like really popular person in the European history section, I wouldn't have got banned. Or they would maybe got banned the first time, but they didn't even warn me or anything. They just outright banned me. You know, they didn't say like, "Hey, no recruiting allowed. This is your final warning." You know, if that was the case, I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, won't happen again." But no, they just tried to log in one day, bam, this account is suspended indefinitely. You cannot appeal this. It's like, okay. Let's not argue what defines race anymore. It's making my head hurt. I think the reason I got banned, they accused me of multiple accounting. Well, yeah, the first time I got banned was for recruiting, because I was trying to get people to be actors in my animation. Second time I got banned was because I made no account, because obviously my first one got banned. They banned me from multiple accounting. So, most diverse continent in the world is Africa. Yeah. Race doesn't have doesn't even exist. Okay, your message kind of exist. Use it because we like structure and little labels as humans because it allows us to control. Exactly. Greece closer to the Africa than Europe. Sorry, minions of Greece were black. I think you meant Greece. And I think in Greek society, I wouldn't say minions necessarily were black. I mean, I'm sure there were some black slaves in ancient Greece, but I mean, there have been European and Arabic slaves recorded in African kingdoms too. So, you know, that goes both ways. From nothing, why do you have a Nightbot? Why not just get a human mod? Because right now, well, for one, the bot lets me do more than just mod. Sorry, I'm reading a very stupid message that just got blocked. Yeah, I'm not gonna tolerate that kind of talk in my chat. Tarded. Not even gonna tolerate your. You know, no, to be honest, like change your name and stop talking that way in my chat, or I'm banning you. I'm only gonna warn you one time. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but anyway, I've only done 4 live streams so far, so I'm just basically seeing who's reliable. Sorry, bro. I was just in the spirit. I mean, your name too. Like, I mean, I can't tell you to change your name, but I won't. I don't want. I can't tolerate that name in my chat. That's offensive, you know. And there's children who watch this, and there are people who. Yep. Okay, I'm banning you. Have a nice life. All right. Yeah. He's sending a lot of messages that kept getting held for review, and they were obviously racist and offensive. So see, yeah. Who was it who asked why I have a Nightbot? That's why. You know. Well, actually, the Nightbot didn't do that. YouTube did that, but still, that extra layer of security. Reggie, Mediterranean islands are a class as European, but those islands are around 3 continent. Yeah, because, I mean, most of their DNA and their cultural traditions are more closely linked to Europe. That's probably why. Have you noticed how History Channel lies and spreads fake info sometimes, like ancient aliens and stuff? I do. Definitely. And the thing is, when you see videos like that, people are like, oh my god, this is so interesting, blah, 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 I want this. I mean, I'm interested in that stuff like that too, I'm not gonna lie. It's cool to go with an open mind and a thought-provoking topic like that. But the moment you do that with African history, people will label you as Afrocentric. It's crazy to me. Like, my most popular video to date on my channel right now is called "What If Africa Was Never Colonized by Europeans?" And basically, I go over every nook and cranny in details. I back it up with sources and evidence, and even still, I have people commenting every single day telling me that this is all lies, it's propaganda, blah blah blah, this is BS. I'm like, dude, it's like, how is it lies? It's an alternate history scenario. And I even made it clear in the beginning of the video that there's very many variables that can influence the impact of African history without Europeans. So, you know, this isn't going to be 100% accurate, and it's impossible for anyone to be 100% accurate with it. But anyway, the History Channel lies all the time. Yeah, you learn all that history isn't reliable in college. Oh, what a coincidence. He was a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah. History Channel is junk. Sorry, Greeks and Romans' religion was not European based. They had a cult of Mithra and Isis, etc. Well, Mediterranean and Western Asian cultures like Arabia and Persia have all been extremely closely linked and circulating for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So a lot of their cultural traditions were and still are tightly linked, like Christianity versus Islam, for example. They're still very similar religions. From nothing, this is why I don't even care about people calling me Afrocentric anymore. If you teach African history as it is, you're going to be labeled as Afrocentric. Get used to it, bro. Oh, no, I am. But I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to call people out, and I'm going to have like-minded individuals discuss it with me, because, you know, like, I'm not just going to accept it. What do you think about Tariq Nasheed? Who is that? Not sure who that is. Or what that is. Oh, stomach's growling. I'm not sure if you guys heard that. Probably because of this big fat turkey sitting right in front of me. It's probably cold by now. I haven't eaten it yet. courtesy of the Royal Palace Kitchen. History Channel made a video, which I don't know if it's true, in which they said Hannibal Barca's black. Is it true? I hear lots of people say Hannibal was black, but I also hear people say he was white. And there are no definitive images in history showing his face. There are no statues or paintings of him. But he was a ruler of the Carthaginian Empire, which spanned Africa, Europe, and Asia. So, I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I don't think we ever will know. What do you think about Arab Allah and Yah were borrowed from Northeast Africa? Yah best in Allah is Allah Egyptian moon god. I don't know about that. I don't know enough about that to say that. He is a pro-black person who does documentaries about black African history. I mean, if you're just making black history videos, cool. But if it's they have a coin of Hannibal. No, they have a coin that depicts Hannibal's brother, but they don't have one that depicts him. I was reading about Africans were doing things with the stars before Galileo. Yes, in one of my videos, what is it? Cities built by Africans. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it up on the big screen right now, actually. Alright, so, let's bring up the big screen now. Just gonna play one part of it that talks about it. As Timbuktu was 5 times the size of London and was the richest city in the world. Today, Timbuktu is 236 times smaller than London. It has nothing of a modern city. Its population is 2 times less than 5 centuries ago, impoverished with beggars and dirty street sellers. The town itself is incapable of conserving its past ruined monuments and archives. So moving back to the 14th century, the 3 richest places on earth were China, Iran, Iraq, and the Mali Empire in Western Africa. Out of all of these places, the only one that remained independent and prosperous was the Mali Empire. The whole of the Middle East, as well as China, were conquered, ravaged, and pillaged by Genghis Khan, who led the Mongol Empire. The richest man ever in the history of humanity, Mansa Musa, was the emperor of the 14th century Mali Empire, which covered modern-day Mali, Senegal, Gambia, and Guinea.
We'll play the rest of it. Actually, let's see where it is.
At the time of his death in the year 1331, Mansa Musa was worth the equivalent of 400 billion US dollars. At that time, the Mali Empire was also producing more than half of the world's supply of salt and gold. When Mansa Musa went on his historic pilgrimage in the year 1324, he carried so much gold and spent it so lavishly that the price of gold fell for an entire decade. 60,000 people accompanied him on this journey. He also founded the Library of Timbuktu, and the famous manuscripts of Timbuktu, which cover all areas of world knowledge, were written during his reign.
This is the part about when it's comparing him to Galileo.
Witnesses of the greatness of the Mali Empire came from all parts of the world. Sergio Domion, an Italian art and architecture scholar, wrote the following about this period. Thus was laid the foundation of an urban civilization.
Thanks,
at the height of its power. Mali had at least 400 cities, and the interior of the Niger Delta was very densely populated. The Malian city of Timbuktu had a 14th century population of 115,000, 5 times larger than that of medieval London. National Geographic recently described Timbuktu as the Paris of the medieval world on account of its intellectual culture. According to Professor Henry Louis Gates, 25,000 university students studied there. Many old West African families have private library collections that go back hundreds of years. The Mauritanian cities of Chinguetti and Oudane have a total of 3,450 handwritten medieval books. There may be another 6,000 books still surviving in the other city of Walata, some which date back to the 8th century AD. In addition to these, there are another 11,000 books in private collections in Niger. Finally, back in Timbuktu, Mali, there are about 700,000, that's right, 1,000 books that still survive to this day. They are written in Mandi, Suki, Fulani, Timbuktu, Sudani, and of course Arabic. The contents of the manuscripts include math, medicine, poetry, law, and astronomy. They also included the world's first encyclopedia, which was developed 400 years before Europeans got the idea in the 18th century. A collection of 1,600 books was considered a small library for a West African scholar of the 16th century. Professor Ahmed Baba of Timbuktu is recorded as saying that he had the smallest library of any of his friends, only containing a meager 1,600 volumes. Concerning these old manuscripts, Michael Palin in his TV series Sahara said the Imam of Timbuktu has a collection of scientific texts that clearly show the planets circling the sun. They date back hundreds of years. It's convincing evidence that the scholars of Timbuktu knew a lot more than their counterparts in Europe. In the 15th century in Timbuktu, the mathematicians knew about the rotation of the planets, knew about the details of the eclipse. They knew things which we had to wait 150 and almost 200 years to know of in Europe, when Galileo and Copernicus came up with these same calculations and were given a very hard time for them due to their religious views during this time in Europe. The old Malian capital of Niani had a 14th century building called the... So yeah, anyway. Also, just gonna make something clear. In this video, I compared, you know, the Europeans to, like, they knew a lot more than the European counterparts, blah, 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 in this video. This video I actually directly quoted from an article posted on siliconafrica.com. I went over that at the beginning, you know, I made sure I cited it and everything, but... So yeah, you know, it's not in my general practice to say, oh, they knew a lot more than Europeans, blah, 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 you know. That was quoted from another website. But, yeah, if that answers your question about the, comparing them to Galileo, there it is. Alright, what did I miss? Probably a lot. And then I saw someone say something about the Malis not contributing much. The Malians didn't really contribute much to, like, their contribution didn't contribute much to the modern world, but they were like they were very impressive in the for the time that they were there, like in the Arabic world. But since the Mali Empire was so far away from the rest of the known world at the time, not many of the contributions could really made it there. Like, the only contact they had was through Hodges, which, as you can imagine, all the way from West Africa to Arabia is through the Sahara is pretty difficult. From, I think, can you put your sources? If not, then can you please do so? Reggie, I do have sources, but you have to be at least a tier 1 patron, which would be a denizen to the Empire. You must be at least a denizen, which is at least a $1 pledge to have access to all of my direct links to all of my sources, as well as what they go to. Like, I have them all labeled out. I'll say, like, for example, in my top 5 most surprising accomplishments by Africans video, I have you know, the source showing where, like, I have the source exactly labeling where I got the information, the credible source that I got, showing that Africans were performing C-sections on their own. Yeah, Berbers thousands of years ago looked different from modern day Berbers. His bias African slips in his videos. Was Africa affected by the Black Plague that hit medieval Europe? It would be impossible to know. There were no documentations of it, but one thing is for certain, it hit Europe a lot harder than it hit other places. So it's unlikely that it did really affect Africa, because the Sahara was basically like a natural barrier that protected them from those things. Was Africa affected by, or that the Berbers are indigenous to North Africa? Yeah, but there was probably a lot of admixture throughout history, though. I mean, you can kind of see, because they look very similar to Arabic people. Numidians look like Beja people. You know the Thanksgiving history? Yes, I do. I do, actually. So, our people travel from China and Europe to attend university in Mali. Some people did, but I never heard of China. But people definitely traveled throughout the Islamic world to Malian universities. But like I said, it was just a much more difficult, and it happened less often than someone going to, say, Mecca or something like that, you know. So we got to pay to look at your sources. Basically, it's an incentive. It's an incentive because I'm trying to become a full-time creator, you know. And I can't dedicate, like right now, I've been streaming for how long now? Like, I don't even know. I can't see the timer. Oh, over an hour. And I can't just do this all the time, you know, buy all my fancy equipment and stuff if I'm not getting any funding. Like, it's not that I'm trying to beg for money, but if I'm going to be a full-time YouTube video creator and live streamer, I need funding. That's the plain and simple black and white explanation of it. So I'm just trying to find incentives to, not in a way that's going to be intrusive or in your face, but I'm trying to find incentives to have to receive some support. For example, if you become at least a $5 patron, which is the warrior class of my empire, your video ideas are automatically put in the queue for my next, you know. Once you get higher up in the ladder, there's even more rewards. So yeah, it's like I said, it's not like, oh, you gotta pay me. No, it's really just naturally, you know, people have supported me already, and I appreciate that. But I'm just trying to give people incentives or rewards when they do support me. That's all. I was asking the meaning of his name, Jabari. My name is Bakari. Oh, my name is it's a Swahili name, and it means fearless. So many groups have settled in North Africa. Even Germanic tribes settled. The Vandals. I wouldn't say they settled there, but they definitely mixed there. The North Africans raided Europe a lot more than Europeans raided North Africa, minus like the Romans. Is it okay if I ask what you did in the army, bro? I worked with communications equipment. Berbers have a higher rate of negative blood types. Yeah, blood types vary throughout human populations. A lot of Germans were slaves. The original Berbers are mixed. Do you think, from nothing, do you think that Nigeria has potential to become a superpower? Notice you mentioned that, you said that about Ghana, and I agree, but I'm curious what you think of Nigeria. Yes, Afro-Man, I think Nigeria, right this very second, if they fleshed out the corruption with some military coup, right this very second, they would be a superpower. Like, I mean, as long as they, but the corruption is so ingrained in Nigeria, all throughout the police force, the hospitals, everything, the government, that it would be impossible to just get rid of it. But they have the money and the power and the potential to be a superpower, for sure. Ghana, only reason I think they're gonna get there first is because they're not nearly as corrupt. I mean, every political entity has some degree of corruption, but Ghana, I think they're on the right track. They're doing good things. I know they have issues between the north and the south, though. Yeah, the Igbo. The Igbo areas, and then the Hausa and Yoruba areas, there's still tension. The Nigerian Civil War basically left the Igbo. The corruption actually has a lot of that has to do with the corruption. Like, they feel that Igbo people are at a disadvantage just for being Igbo because they're part of the Nigerian Civil War. So Nigerians or Yoruba and Hausa naturally have more developed regions, like their countries are more developed, and they have better standards of living than Igbo. The Igbo places are very underdeveloped and poor in comparison. I feel Nigeria is corrupt. The ethnic groups are always fighting. Angola, it's pretty bad too. Yeah. I heard Lagos will soon become a megacity by 2050. I mean, it's already one of the most populated cities in the world. Even more than I think it's like the 3rd or 4th most populated in the world. What else? We've had 2 democratic successions of power. From nothing. Where are you from? I'm from Florida. Is it true that Africans don't like African Americans? I don't know. Guess you'd have to ask some Africans. I wouldn't blame them, because a lot of African Americans don't like Africans. They use African as like an insult, you know. Like, I remember when I was in Korea, when I was in the army, we had a lot of African soldiers, or soldiers of African descent. I don't like the label African American. I'm not African. I mean, I'm proud of my history, but I'm not African, you know. I'm American. So it just creates confusion, because when somebody actually is African American, you can't really call them that without them assuming they're born and raised in America. You know, it's kind of dumb, in my opinion. Can I twerk in this room? Sure, why not? Wow, no wonder why our names so closely resemble each other. My name is Swahili, meaning noble promise. Awesome. Yeah, I love my name. I'm mostly Nigerian descent. I want to see them rise. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Over time, I want some African countries to rise within my lifetime. That would really change the world perception of black people and black history and our contributions to the world. We have a lot of smart people, or over time we'll become a megacity. We have a lot of smart people. Yeah, Nigerians actually are one of the most well-educated groups of immigrants in the United States. So the problem, as we've had military governments for most of our history, yeah. I think another problem is just the insanely large genetic diversity. Is my stream lagging for you guys? It's kind of lagging for me. That's not true. We're cool. We're African American. We're not. I mean, it's cool to be proud of your African heritage. I mean, I am, hence why I have this channel. But to label us as African when we're not African, I can relate more culturally to a white man from the United States than a black man from Nigeria. Our cultures they grew and developed together, you know. If I go to someone's house and they offer me a soda, I can relate to that more than going to a Nigerian's house and them offering me a half a cola nut, you know? Like, that's not how it works. And we speak the same language, you have the same religions, and yeah. You're from Pensacola? Oh, wow. Dude, you're like an hour away from me. Have you ever heard of Thomas Sankara? I have not. When African countries rise, African Americans will have more leverage. Same thing happened with China. Yeah, I agree. Now I live in Nova. There's a huge amount of huge amount of African immigrants from all over the continent, and they all blend together in black culture and vice versa. We get along really well. It's what actually got me interested in studying African history. That's awesome, man. Didn't know why so many black people care if someone doesn't like them. Ethnic groups beef with the other ethnic groups in their same race all the time. It's because the world just seems to hate blacks. Like, for example, I saw a video of a black guy jumping all the way across the road. Like, I was like, wow, that's impressive. That guy's a beast, you know? And I scroll down the comments, and literally, like, the first 10 I look at, oh, his welfare check's on the other side of the road, or, oh, he was practicing jumping over the rivers to escape the cops, you know, just every single one. Or just like a GIF file of a black man with huge lips holding a watermelon in a bucket of KFC. I can guarantee you if that guy was white or Asian or anything else, people would have just been like, oh, wow, that's impressive. Holy crap, that's cool, you know. It's the worldview of Africans is just negative. So that's why when people are racist towards Africans, it just feels 10 times worse. People from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Ghana, Ivory Coast, South Africa, Nigeria, even Egypt, we all get along really well, bro. Don't believe the hype. If I had the choice, I'd marry an African woman. I mean, like I said, I don't like I like to relate to my ancestors as much as possible, but the reality of it, I mean, I got along with Koreans when I was in Korea, you know. I mean, you don't have to be the same race to get along. My point is, the reality of it is culturally you have more similarities to a white American man than you do with an African. It's just the way it is. We're not Africans. We have dark skin, we descend from Africans, but our language, our religion, our ways of life, our cultures are predominantly American, not African. So that just creates confusion. Like, when someone actually is African, like, and you call them African American, people are like, oh, you're black, you're born in America, your people have been here for hundreds of years, cool. You know? Wow, an hour? Were you talking about the stream length? Yeah. I love my name too, and thanks for responding. No problem. I'm trying my best to respond to all the comments, but there's a lot of people in here, which is awesome. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Like, this is just an unplanned stream, and I got 19 people watching right now. Let's try to hit 30 one of these days, guys. We hit 30 one time, and that was my first live stream. It was just a test stream. We hit 32 people that stream. Let's try to do that again. I mean, share my stream with your friends. Post them on your Facebook pages. Like, show your support. Like, please. Support my goal, get my stuff known. I want to spread a word about African history. I want to discuss it more with more like-minded individuals as well. Yeah, it's the media. What is the place in Africa called that almost touches the Iberian Peninsula? Morocco, yeah. The Strait of... What is it called? Is it the Strait of Gibraltar? No, I think that's one. No, that's one between France and... But yeah. Yeah, that's Morocco. And that's actually where the Almohads invaded Spain, and a lot of people don't know they invaded Spain and ruled over them for 700 years across that peninsula. So it's like or across that strait. The Spanish were not independent from African rulers until the year 1491. Yes, 1 year prior to Columbus's voyage is how long it took for them to finally reconquer their country. And keep in mind, during the same period, these same peoples conquered Ghana, but Ghana fought them out of their country within 10 years. Ghana, as in the Ghana Empire, also known as the Akwar Empire, but not the modern day country, you know. Is it true the Moors crossed the place and invaded Europe and the Middle East? Yep, that's pretty much what I just said. I told some lady my race is black, and she tried to convince me I was Nigerian and not black, almost like in contrast with her identity. Yeah, it's so crazy how people do that. Even white people do that. I knew a girl who was part Portuguese, and she said she's not white, she's Portuguese. I'm like, you're white. You are white. Yes, you're Portuguese, and Portuguese people are white. You know? Like, my girlfriend was talking to me about that, like how people, well, when she was in Spain, people were assuming that everyone there would be like Mexicans, and it's like, no, Spanish people are white. They are Caucasians. They just speak Spanish. Jabari, I know your sister. She does the beads and jewelry. Oh, really? Did you find my channel through her? Amish? Or is that just like a really creepy coincidence? Lots of love. Gotta run. Kids up early. Learned a lot. Keep up the good word. Thanks, Patrick Levins. Thanks for stopping by. I have 3% North African blood and 2% Middle Eastern because of what happened to Spain in those 700 years. Yeah. I mean, I have, I don't think I have any DNA from North Africa or the Mediterranean at all, actually. I was nothing but Sub-Saharan African, West African, and Central African, mostly from Mali. 23% of my ancestry was Malian. I had 6% British. I think I had 1% Eastern European and like 1% Central European or something like that. And then I had less than 1% Central Asian, like Pakistani, stuff like that. And then 1% Native American. Whites, true whites are Anglos. Not true. Anglos are specifically people from the British Islands. And not even all of them are Anglos. That's like saying true blacks are Yoruba, you know? They're a greater ethnic group. They're not. Yeah. Reggie Shia Zomic married for 10 minutes. I'm not sure who that is. So Spaniards are like 10% or less African and Middle Eastern, or is it just mixed out of existence at that point? No, there's still admixture. You could still go to Spain and see someone who clearly bears like more Arabic or African features, but the majority of their population are white. So, and a lot of the people who have stronger Islamic or African admixture are restricted to certain areas of the country. Like culturally, they're more like the southern portions of the country. Amish Valeria, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, Amish, how do you know my sister? Did you find my my stream through her stuff? I don't know what a muta is, by the way. Truth teacher was timed out for 5 seconds. Says he's tried spamming a link. Oh, what's up, truth teacher? Yeah, blocked your message. It said you were. Oh yeah, spamming caps. Yeah, sorry about that. Try to refrain from caps. I know you weren't trying to spam, but you know my bot's very sensitive to that. But how you doing, man? Haven't heard from you in a while. I remember you commenting my videos a couple times, and you kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. Oh, okay, that's awesome, Amish. Yeah, me and my sister are gonna do some kind of collaboration in the future, because you know she has this small business, and I want to do something to help her out, and she's gonna try to help me out as well. Life's turning upside down. Oh, you're telling me, man. Oh my god, I had so much going. Try to keep my personal life out of my stream, but oh, that's why I haven't been uploading as often. I muted is a share married that's lasts 10 minutes in Islam. A marriage that lasts 10 minutes? That doesn't sound very good. What is that? Just so they can like have some quick, shameless fun or something? Or my friends think bring Mexican is a race. I'm like, no, it's nationality. And they also say Mexicans look white, but I have no white in me. Both of my parents are Mexican. Some Mexicans are light skinned, and yeah, they are definitely not a race. Like even Hispanics and Latinos are not considered a race. Like they are a cultural group. They're not even an ethnic group. They're a greater cultural group. What are your thoughts on the Mugabe in Zimbabwe? I'm not sure about the Mugabe. Give me like 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Right? No? Maybe? Oh, I think it's similar to what they call orphan marriage in Egypt. It's a temporary marriage. It's kind of strange. 26 from Florida looking do mute for $40. yeah, I'll pass. Yeah, Reggie, try to tone the language down, please. Like I said, I don't really care, but I do have younger people who watch my stream, so just keep that to a minimal. The vulgarities. Exactly, it's not a race, it's a mixture of European, African, Native American. The entire America is literally a huge melting pot of different cultures and ethnicities. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, definitely. Like some Hispanic populations are almost entirely African, and some are almost entirely Native American. Some are almost entirely white, like, you know, like Argentina, for example. Like, nearly everyone there is white, for example, but they're Hispanics. And then when you go to places like Cuba or Puerto Rico, they have significantly larger black populations. Your GF is Spanish? No, she's black. She's a black American, but she's in Spain teaching English right now. No, she's not white. She's black. It's basically a form of prostitution. It's the way to technically get around not having sex before marriage. Yeah, that's what I figured when you said it. Like, it's a temporary marriage. Dominican Republic too. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them are kind of like the stereotypical Hispanic, you know, like the brown. I think they're less African than places like Haiti, for example. Well, I guess you learn something new every day. Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's a little crazy. Oh, I caught this 2 hours late. It's all good. The topic that I'm discussing encompassed the beginning of the video. So, but just to let you know, I'm not actually Afrocentric. You know, it's just people keep calling me Afrocentric and they really have no reason why, you know. They just assume I am. From now on, whenever people ask questions that can be answered by my commands, just to encourage use of my commands, I will respond by telling you to hit the command. Hit the command bio. And if you want to learn more commands, hit the command commands. Only reason I'm saying this is because that question's asked several times per stream. You know, I don't mind answering questions, but yeah. So hit bio. Exclamation point bio. It's basically a form of prostitution. Already read that. They get on my nerves. Yeah. Yeah. True teacher. I saw a few of your videos a while back. You got a pretty decent channel going on there. I liked your video about how you're sick of Kemet. I mean, for one, I think it was a little. Gonna critique it a bit. It was a little too long, and your rant was a little too strong as well. But other than that, it was definitely a video I completely agree with, and I was actually going to do a video myself about that, because people talk way too much about Egypt and Nubia as if it's like the only African history out there. What's a command, bro? Reggie, like I said, type in exclamation point to bio. That's a command. The chat bot has a lot of commands, like if you want to find my Facebook, exclamation point Facebook. If you want to find my Twitter, exclamation point Twitter. If you want to know how to donate, exclamation point donate, you know? That's what a command is. Alright. You fit in good with a niche and you fit into a good niche on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, it makes me happy. Like I'm every time I stream, I'm just so damn happy to talk to you guys, to have a bunch of like-minded individuals all coming together and having these discussions. Like, you have no idea. It's like, ultimately, you know, you can see by my monthly tribute coffer and my links to donations and stuff. Ultimately, I want to be able to do this full time. I want to receive enough donations and support from this to do this full time. But whether I do or I don't, I'm still going to be here because I love doing this. You know? I just won't be here as often because, you know, I got to pay my bills, you know? Got to go out to work, got to go to school and all that stuff. Gotta do homework, gotta clean the house, you know, life, normal life stuff. I'm just ignorant, but I don't know many people who speak about African history. You're not ignorant, and people don't talk about African history. And that's why I have this channel. I want to be that guy who does. Aren't Native Americans actually like Eastern Asians or Siberian or something? I can't even heard some Native in Southern Central America and Aboriginal DNA tests opposed to. Yes, the oldest skeleton discovered in the Americas, recently discovered, actually, is believed to be more similar to an Aboriginal of Australia than an Asian, but the majority of the Native Americans encountered by Europeans and the ones that still exist today, who made up the majority of the population of the Americas, is related to Siberians. So yeah, Olmecs were black. I disagree. There's no evidence. There's statues that look black, but that's it. There's no hard evidence. There are no skeletons. There are no linguists. There are no like languages that are African languages spoken there. So it's something. I think there may have possibly been contact, but until the evidence is discovered, I'm not going to preach it as if it's a definitive fact. I agree, but it's still interesting. Yeah, there are some Afrocentrics that believe way crazier stuff. Oh yeah, definitely there are. Yes, I know. I wanted to do a follow-up to clarify things, but then my world crumbled. Yeah, like I said, I understand, man. Like, again, I try to keep my personal life out of my stream, but I've been through some stuff too. Trust me, like trust me. I'm surprised I'm able to still be here streaming right now because I had like no money, so I somehow bounced back though. I did it. We ever debate a Hebrew Israel separating black and just American? Yes, I will do that at some point. You know, I want to do. I already read that. Will you debate? Okay, I read that too. Wow, getting money from black people is like open heart surgery. Okay, I've already received donations. I've gotten donations in my first 2 streams, and I have a patron, and I've also gotten a donation, a $50 donation, from my GoFundMe. And by the way, not all of my viewers are black. I mean, as you know, I have a Mexican viewer right now as we speak. Earlier, I'm not sure if he's still here, but I had a white viewer as well in here. I have several viewers from all around the world. Most of my viewers, actually, about 30% of my viewers are from Europe. So, not saying all Europeans are white, but that's a pretty big demographic. I have viewers of all walks of life because I don't preach nonsense. I just teach African history from an unbiased perspective. That's it. Let's see, you gotta watch Black Panther, bro. Oh, I'm anticipating that movie so much. That's gonna be so awesome and such a good step in the right direction for black people as a whole. Just to have a movie with a predominantly black character that takes place in even if it is a mythical kingdom, you know, it's in the right direction for sure. Yes, they do. It's all over the YouTube. Not sure if I know what that was an answer to. That was discovered in a cave in Brazil, yeah. Which is weird because it was the first person to do open heart surgery was black. That is true. That is indeed true. I don't believe the color holds back connotations university. Those connotations university, those are ingrained ideas. Make that 2 Mexicans. Okay, so yeah, I have 2 Mexicans in my chat. You see what I mean? Like, my videos are in plain and simple terms, they are history videos. They're history videos. They're not black videos. They are history because black people are part of history. And until the world realizes that, it's always going to get labeled as its own little subcategory. Like, mankind, Africa, you know? People who like history like my videos. Oh yeah, so I have several Mexicans in my chat, dude. Like, you see what I mean? So, actually, how about right now? I just want to... Not trying to turn this into like a racial thing, not trying to divide people, but out of genuine curiosity, I'm sure many other people are curiosity. Everybody right now who's watching, respond with your ethnicity, your country and your ethnicity. I'm curious. All right, so we got a Jamaican here, Jamaican American. Yeah, black is negative on terms of the West, not around the world. No, it's negative around the world too. Not as much as in the West, but it's negative around the world. Like in Korea, I faced some pretty big discrimination there for being black. Alright, we got 2 Jamaicans. Got a Nigerian. Ethnicity, nationality, doesn't matter. Don't have to be super technical. Ethnicity, nationality, race, whatever. Alright, we got 2 Jamaicans. We got a Nigerian. We got a black American. Not going to say African American. Got Mexican American. We got a Cuban. We got someone from New Jersey, but what race or nationality? Or what, yeah, what race? Or we got a Japanese. Got another black American. See, so we only have 2 black Americans right now. Only 2. Yeah, we got 3 Mexicans. We got 2 Jamaicans. We got a Nigerian. We got a Japanese. We got a Cuban. Like, it's pretty awesome. Country, United States, ethnicity, half Mexican, half El Salvadorian. You know what I mean? Like, not really a mix. It is a mix. Come on, you could be proud. There's nationality. There's national or nationalism. You know. Black Florida. I'm from Florida too. Awesome. So yeah, we got some good mixture. We have no white people in here anymore. I know we had one earlier when the stream first started, and he came in and said, "Love your videos, man." So, you know, we get people from all, I get people from all races. You're African from Niger. It makes me really happy to see Africans watching my stream. Because, I mean, most Africans probably know a lot more about this stuff than Americans do. But it makes me happy because most African countries are relatively underdeveloped. So, you know, getting an internet connection and your data limits and stuff are generally going to be a lot more difficult and a lot lower than ours in the West. In the West, I could literally go to sleep with my stream on while streaming a 1080p movie, you know? Streaming a marathon of 1080p movies and be okay. But in Africa, not trying to generalize, but the majority of the continent, internet is very, very hard to maintain. And it makes me happy when I see Africans watching my stream, just dropping everything to tune into my stream. I appreciate that. Yassine Esofu, I hope I said that properly. Hey Jabari, I know why you are Afrocentric, because your mama said so, haha, get it? The black mom stereotype who always ask and demand things from you, shipping and molding you to wherever you want to be. Don't really know what that stereotype, but I'm not really, I'm not Afrocentric. I made that title because people kept calling me Afrocentric, and I wanted to basically do a little rant stream over it. I like African American label because I'm around Africans a lot. That's because this hoodie is very uncomfortable. Oh my god, I'm so hot right now. I'm gonna let me turn on a fan or something. I mean, I'm gonna wear this every stream no matter what until I plan on eventually getting into character, because this is the Empire, guys. This is the Empire from nothing. The Empire that came from nothing. That's what this is. And that's what the theme is, you know. I'm sure you guys probably noticed when someone subscribes to me, it says they were annexed into the Empire, for example. Like, my patrons are, you know, denizens, warriors, royalty, stuff like that. That's the theme of the stream. I hope you guys like it. But until I get a full-blown costume to get into character, this is what I'm wearing every stream. And oh my god, it's so hot right now. I need to turn on the fan. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. My butt is literally sweating right now, so. Okay, may not have been a good joke, but just trying to bring some LOL in the atmosphere. It's all good, Lord's work. Don't worry. I know you weren't being malicious. Otherwise, I would have, like, gotten angry or something. I had to ban one person tonight, so, you know. If I'm angry, I'm banning you. Simple. I should go. Went to Africa a couple times. Once you get there, you feel at home. Oh, definitely. Me and my girlfriend plan on visiting Ghana one day. Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Once we get the money and the time to do so. Hoodies are the best until you get hot. Yeah, exactly. And I got a cone head too. Once I leave the National Guard, I'm growing my dreadlocks back out. I hate the shape of my head. The hoodie makes me look better. Trust me. I'm a very ugly guy without my hoodie. Do you have a religion, or are you agnostic or atheist? I'm agnostic. Girlfriend's the same way, but she's a little more religious than I am. I believe that there can be a god. There's a lot of organization in the universe, like, you know, electrons orbiting atoms and planets orbiting the sun, and everything just kind of works. The chaos kind of unraveled itself and stuff like that. I believe some kind of intelligent entity could have possibly set that all into motion. But I don't believe in one particular religion, simply because there is no proof. There's no proof that a talking snake slithered up to two humans and forced them to eat an evil apple, you know? Like, there's no proof of that, and that's why I don't believe it. If you believe that, I respect you. My family members believe it. I grew up in the church. Like, I respect people's beliefs, but I just personally don't believe it. My girlfriend, she believes that they're definitive. She believes the same thing I believe, but she believes there is definitively a God. No particular reason, but definitively she believes that there is a God. You should buy a colorful poncho hoodie and wear it every stream. Yeah, I'm gonna buy something that fits more of the character, you know? Like, something... Maybe like a full-blown... I mean, if I can make enough funding, not trying to spam the donation stuff, but, you know, if I'm getting enough funding and stuff, I'm going to get into a full character. I'm going to get myself a... Like, my donation stuff will be going primarily towards the stream. I'm going to get myself a full-blown, like, African costume, like, you know, like a dashiki and stuff like that, and I'll wear it every stream. I really, really want to push this character thing. I'm gonna draw my own in the future, my own backgrounds. I'm gonna make that, instead of that African map, I'm gonna have like I'm gonna draw a palace, and I'm sitting inside of my royal palace, for example. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna be pretty fun in the future. I'm gonna draw all my backgrounds and color them, and we'll move from room to room at times, you know. As of right now, all I got are the few things. You know, I got a stream starting soon, the main stream, and the big screen. That's it. I plan on having so many different sources that I switch to, like different rooms of the palace, warriors, and stuff like that. It's gonna be pretty fun, guys. There's a lot to come. I want to do Akanda's His Lighting Africa campaign is great. I want to do Akanda's... I'm not sure what you're talking about. Would you I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Would you ever consider doing videos on African religions? Yep, I thought about it in the future. I think God and natural forces around us are one and the same. Like I said, I respect people's beliefs, but I just don't believe anything definitively until I have proof, which is the whole basis of my channel. I don't believe the Americans was Kangs or the original Americans was Kangs from Africa until I definitively see proof. You know what I mean? So UFOs, I believe they could exist. I believe there's a strong possibility that they do exist, but until I see proof, I'm not going to believe it 100%. I believe that which we call God is something more profound than anthropomorphic constructive religion. Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it. My family members are Santeros, a derivative of Yoruba. That's awesome. You wear those Western African shirts? Yeah, like the that's what I'm talking about. The shiki. Yeah, so I was saying I'm gonna eventually get the shiki, and then maybe one of those. I don't know what they're called, but the hats, they're like really fitted hats, and they kind of have like a cylindrical shape. I forget what they're called. You can buy it on Amazon. I know I can, but you know, like I said, since I'm trying to accomplish my goal of being a full-time streamer, I have to manage my budgets accordingly, and I'm not gonna spend more money on my stream than what I make. I think I've already actually done that, to be honest. I got this 1080p Logitech C920 camera. I got this blue snowball microphone in the arm stand. My computer, you don't even want to know how much I paid for that, but it basically can handle the streams and the streaming software and the video playback and all that stuff perfectly fine. No lag, no freezing. I could literally even like open up a video game and run it on max settings while doing this, and it would still be running fine. So I put a lot of money into this this rig because I'm really passionate about what I'm doing, you know. And yeah. So anyway, what is the craziest, wildest Afrocentric thing that does not make sense you have heard before? Oh my God, it's hard to put it all. It's hard to sum it up to just. It's hard to sum it up to just one. To be honest, there are too many. I mean, people claim that the original Irish were Africans. You know what I mean? It's like, are you kidding me, dude? Are you freaking kidding me? Nice, bro. Yoruba. I'm mostly Fulani from research I've done. That's awesome. What do people complain about cultural appropriation? What do you mean? People do. People already do. Okay, now I'm cold. This is kind of crazy. I was sweating, and now that the fan's on and my sweat's all evaporating, I'm cold. The really good stuff in my playlist. Let's stop bashing Afrocentrics. It's not constructive. I mean, Afrocentric people are the source of a major source of why people treat people like me the way they do. People treat me as if I'm some like I'm a supremacist, and I think we're somehow better than whites just because I make videos about African history. Simply for that reason. And it's because most of the videos out there, the most popular videos out there, are Afrocentric people trying to claim that we are the best. My personal line is Congo. I think I was about 15% Congo on my DNA test. Can you name some? Can you name some what? What is your view on race realism and alleged correlation with? People ask this question literally all four of the four streams I've done. People have asked that question every time. I don't discuss that. I'm sorry. It's one of those. It goes into that dark realm of too controversial to talk about. So no, it's not constructive, but it's so much fun. It is constructive because it promotes people to realize that the answer to our problems is not Afrocentrism. It's not the answer. You don't uplift your race by teaching them that your people are better than everyone else, because it's not true. It's not true, and it makes you just as bad as the Europeans in the past who did teach that stuff. So no, it is constructive to bash Afrocentrics. It's extremely constructive to bash Afrocentric people. IQ is BS. Yeah. Let's not talk about that, guys. Let's just not. No discussion of IQ and race correlation. Is Kendrick Lamar Afrocentric? Not sure who that is. Sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who it is. Only white supremacists care about IQ. Yeah. I mean, well, that's not really a true statement, but considering IQ was invented by Europeans based on European standards of knowledge, it's going to be naturally favored towards Europeans or cultures similar to Europeans, like East Asians, for example. Favorite African empire? Ashanti, hands down. I love the Ashanti. It's not controversial. That's why I want to visit Ghana. It's not even controversial from nothing. IQ is proven to be extremely biased and faulty test. I know it is, but I still don't like to discuss it because people are going to have their own opinions, and it's just going to turn my chat into a toxic pool of negativity. I'm not really into that. I want to keep the mood light. So far, we've only had one instance of a full-blown racist that I had to ban. You know, I've only banned one guy since I started live streaming in 4 days, and a black African channel. And I've only had to ban one guy in 4 days. Doesn't that make you happy? What about historical account of Jesus? Jesus was a man. I believe he was a man. Indeed. He existed. Did he turn water into wine? Did he make the blind man see? Did he rise from the dead? That's what I don't believe. And I will not believe until I see evidence. So. Conan Borno is my favorite empire. Yeah, my first and only patron at the moment requested that video, so that's going to be one of my next videos. It's going to be the next, if not my second next video. Use the picture of K-Dot for your Afrocentric video. I honestly wasn't even sure who that was. I just wanted to find a picture of a black guy wearing like a European crown and trying to look like he was cool, you know, and that was like the most perfect picture for ever, so. The thing about IQ is that it's not practically useful in any way. I mean, I did an IQ test myself, and I can't remember what I scored, but it was above average. It was like I think it was like 120 or something like that. So I mean, people tell me all the time I'm an intelligent person, and usually intelligent people do have high IQs. So I do agree it correlates with things in a sense, but intelligence is a very subjective thing that is hard to measure. Someone who is book smart and has a good, you know, way of, like, someone who's book smart will generally have like an IQ, a high IQ. But for example, your IQ is not gonna help you survive out in the Kalahari Desert with the Bushmen. You know, no. Like, people develop different logical and analytical skills based on the environment that they're placed in. Generally speaking, black people are placed in more hostile and poverty-stricken environments than whites, so naturally our see, I'm getting into the topic. I'm not going to discuss it, but my point is IQ isn't a perfectly valid way to test things, but it does have validity to intelligence, but intelligence is subjective depending on where you live and how you were brought up. That's all I'm going to say on it. I do not want to discuss it anymore, and I do not want it discussed in my chat anymore, guys. Like, just try to keep it out, please. From nothing, have you heard about the black people saying that the ancient Chinese were black and Buddha was black? I've heard every claim. I've heard the Chinese, the Japanese, Native Americans, the Australian Aborigines, the Irish, the Vikings, the Romans, the Greeks. Like, these Afrocentrics think every great civilization in the world was built by Africans. So, yes, I have heard of that. Exactly, and there are many types of intelligence. It does not indicate problem-solving skills, creativity, resourcefulness, etc. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, let's not talk about that. You mean the guy who said, don't call him black, call him Israelite? Yeah, guys like that. By the way, I got 20 people watching right now. Appreciate it, guys. Still not quite what we got on our first live stream, but we're pretty close. I think we leveled out at around 25 viewers on my first live stream. It was unplanned, unscripted, on anything, and I had 25 viewers. I capped out at 32, but I leveled at around 25. If we can get to 25 again tonight, guys, you know, maybe a little bit of support, you know, some super chats or something, that would be amazing. Like, it really motivates me to, when I have a lot of people watching and interacting in the chat. I love how active the chat has been. This was going to be just a really short rant, but it turned out to be a 2-hour stream that I'm really enjoying, and I don't even know when I want to end it. Aborigines are black. They migrated from Africa 50,000 years ago. Yeah, but every human, 50,000 years ago, every human on this planet was black. So that's no basis for saying they're African. They are black. They are. I mean, in Australia, if you're Aborigine, you're considered a black man, an Aborigine. You are I don't deny that, but they're not African, and they're extremely unrelated to modern Africans, because Africans were changing too. Africans were changing and evolving throughout that 50,000 years, so they're less genetically similar to modern Africans. Is he still a goat in terms of rap? Don't agree with that crap though. Afroman one is, I don't know what you guys are talking about with the goat. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just not familiar with rap lingo. Never knew Kendrick was black, Israelite, dying of laughter. What I mean is God and natural forces that science recognizes with common knowledge as one and the same. I consider myself agnostic. Yeah, I'm the same way, I believe. I'm agnostic as well. I don't like to put a label on myself at all, to be honest, but if I had to put myself in one category, it would be agnostic, because I don't deny. Basically, the definition of agnostic is someone who doesn't believe that anyone can accurately say whether there is or is not a God. In other words, I view a Christian and an atheist as one and the same. An atheist strictly believes there is no God. A Christian strictly believes there is a God. I believe you don't know for a fact there's no God, and you don't know for a fact there is a God. And until we get evidence confirming that there is no God or there is a God, neither of you is right. You know, that's what I believe. Goat means greatest of all time. Oh. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Well, nobody really seemed to notice that. They take aspects of truth and blow them out of proportion. Yes, they were and still are melanated people all along the southern fringe of Asia. Yeah, they are melanated, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're Africans, nor are they related to us genetically. They're descended from some of the earliest populations of humans that left Africa, and those early populations were the basis of all mankind. So, I mean, naturally, they're going to be more related to people closer to them, not Africans. Maybe if Nas was dead. Yeah, this doesn't mean those people are a part of African culture. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Montemusa? He's not talking about the IQ thing anymore. Alright, bro, you got it. Yeah. I'm lost. I'm not gonna lie. Be right back, guys. I'm gonna grab myself another drink. What did I miss? How did African slaves adapt to new environments, like when they got sent to Caribbean islands or frozen environments? I mean, humans are adaptable creatures. A white man is not going to survive any better in a cold region than a black man will. The theory behind why people evolved to have lighter skin in those regions is vitamin D. But since in modern times we are able to eat such wide varieties of food with relative ease thanks to farming, we get the vitamin D we need from the foods we grow and eat. Especially people who fish. Fish has a lot of natural vitamin D, and then most milk these days has added vitamin D. So that's how. Normally, though, in nature with hunter-gatherer cultures, most vitamin D is derived from the sun. Sunlight is converted into vitamin D by our skin. And darker skin naturally doesn't absorb as much sunlight as lighter skin. But yeah, you know, human beings have adapted to live on all the continents of the planet. So it's no surprise that slaves were able to adapt to other countries, because humans have been doing it for thousands of years. Alright, let's see. This doesn't mean those people are any part of African culture. Yeah, exactly. I was having a speech with Amish about that earlier, truth teacher. He was claiming black doesn't mean African. It's like, it doesn't, but black doesn't also mean we're related, you know? Doesn't mean we have the same language or the same history. Just thought you should know that. Stay encouraged, my friends. Yeah. Yes, it did, but I don't. Preferences, I'm not sure what that was from. Lord's Work said, then what about accounts of Jesus from non-believing secularists of his time who written about many events that took place through his life after his death, like for example the empty tomb? There was no secularism back then. Secularism wasn't even a thing. Next time you do a video about Fulani civilization. Video requests are, you must be a patron in order to submit video requests. Because I have no shortage of ideas, guys. That's the plain and simple black and white thing of it. And you know, I need to reward those who do support me. So those who support me are front loaded when it comes to video requests. Sorry about all the typos. Black is beautiful. Oh yeah, it's fine. I know most of my viewers are watching me from phones, so the struggle's real when you're typing on these smartphones these days, especially when you got giant hands like mine. So Fuda Julan and Sokoto Caliphate. Yeah, they're interesting cultures for sure. West Africa is definitely my favorite part to talk about. There were just so many kingdoms there. Like, nearly the entirety of West Africa was part of some form of kingdom or empire throughout history. What do you think about Ethiopian Jews? I don't know. They're Jews who live in Ethiopia. That's all I got to say about it personally. Sokoto Caliphate was one of the biggest empires of African. Yep, indeed it was. The Fulani jihadists conquered the Hausa states and formed an empire, but it was like right around the time where European imperialism was trying to was conducting the scramble for Africa, so it didn't last very long. Black Panther, Habisha, right? Why do I keep seeing words I'm familiar with, but I don't know what they mean? What's Habisha? Have you heard of the 20 Chinese sailors who crashed and stranded in Eastern Africa? Yep, on Pate, I think it's pronounced Pate Island. It was part of Zheng He's fleet. They got stranded on Pate Island. And to this day, the inhabitants still have Chinese names like Wei. Actually, you know what? I'll bring out the big screen right now and show it to you guys. Alright, so yeah. Bring out the big screen. I'm just going to show that one part of the video. One of their defining characteristics was a lack of nails in their construction. Instead, they were literally sewn, using ropes to bind the planks together, allowing for greater flexibility and overall durability on the rough seas of the Indian Ocean. They also had an advanced mast system, allowing them to sail closer to the wind than most other ships at the time. The Swahili people call these ships Mtepe. The seafaring tradition of the Swahili people is a very old one and a very refined one, as evidenced by a clay figurine excavated in China and made in the likeness of a Swahili merchant from Zanzibar. This figure dates back to the Tang dynasty between the years of 618 and 907 AD. However, the Swahili merchants were not the only ones making their way to China from Africa. So skilled were the sailors of the Swahili coast, as early as the 12th century, they have been documented shipping African elephants all the way to China. What the The shipment of exotic African beasts to China appears to have been an ancient practice that was ongoing for many centuries. Perhaps the most famous case of this was documented after China's historic fleet of treasure ships, led by Zheng He, in the year 1414. Shortly after the fleet's visit to the East African coast, the city of Malindi sent a giraffe to the imperial court of China as a gift. At the time, the Chinese believed the strange animal to be the magical beast known as the qilin, analogous to the unicorn in Western culture. The legacy of this cultural exchange between the Swahili people and the Chinese rests in not only the artifacts of the paintings, but also the people themselves. In fact, the African island town of Pate, found off the coast of Kenya, has inhabitants who claim to be descendants of shipwrecked sailors from Zhenghe's fleet. In 1999, Nicholas Kristof of New York Times reported that the people of the island bear Asian features. Ming Dynasty era pottery is also found throughout the island, and even Ming-style tombstones in their cemetery. Common Chinese names such as Wei are also present on the island. So yeah, there you go. I'm sure many of you have seen it already, but for those of you who didn't, hopefully you learned something cool from that. It's pretty interesting stuff. Thanksgiving already? Indeed. Got this big turkey dinner in front of me. It's been sitting here for like 2 hours now. Haven't touched it. Just ready to just you know, start chomping away at this right now, but I can't. What do you think about the Tom Sotomayor? Not sure who that is. It blocked your message on me. I don't know why, but I'll show it. It didn't. Don't use words like that in my chat, Afro, please. Thank you. Don't taint this channel. Fulani, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Songhai empires were the biggest empire in Africa. Yeah, indeed. West Africa represent, don't forget Benin Empire. Yeah, Benin Empire wasn't very big though. It was impressive. It's one of my favorite. Next to the Ashanti, Benin's one of my favorite empires, but it wasn't. But the Benin was not that big, so it was pretty small. It's crazy. I don't know to this day they still have Asian facial features. Yeah, they do, and last names to this day. Nicholas Kristof went to the island in the 90s, and they claimed through their oral history that like hundreds of years ago, people came from China and were shipwrecked there. And to this day, they still carry a lot. And their architecture apparently is very unique too. Like the materials and their building methods are very unique compared to other parts of Kenya. Like the Pate Island, I think that's, somebody corrected me saying it's pronounced like Pate or something. It's off the coast of Kenya, and the architecture is like so much different from the rest of them due to the Chinese influence. Wow, almost 3 hours. Yeah, this will be my longest stream to date, but I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? I'm having fun. This is great. This wasn't planned, but it's awesome. The Olmecs were blacks or half black / native. I don't, just like I was saying about religion, I don't believe the Olmecs were black until I see evidence. And as of right now, the only evidence to confirm that is statues that have features that may possibly be African. That's not enough evidence for me, personally. Like, did Africans visit the Americas in pre-colonial times? Do I think it was possible? Definitely. I think it was definitely possible. Did they develop and establish civilizations in the Americas? Probably not. That's how I feel. But inserts were unique. Yeah, man, having a blast. Do you think that if... Okay, yeah, do I think that if... Yeah, I think that if... Olmecs look Filipino and Negrito, I think. I think their art may have just been very stylized. Like, for example... Let's bring out the big screen again. Well, after I find the right page. Alright, so let's bring out the big screen, and when I look at these bronze castings, these people look Asian to me. They look Asian. They look undeniably Asian to me. But they're not. They're African. They're Yoruba people. So one thing that people tend to neglect to forget is that mankind is mankind. You're gonna find different features within different races. You will find some features more prevalent in one race than the other, but you're going to find all of the features of mankind throughout the world, regardless of what race it is or where it is. And despite that these artifacts are undeniably made by African people, they have very Asiatic features. So that's how I feel about the Olmec heads as of now. And until I see evidence, again, I don't deny that there may have been some influence. I'm open to the idea, but I'm not gonna say they're black just because they have wide noses and big lips, you know, like, because a lot of people have those features around the world. Alright, subscribing. Thank you, Ryan. Oh wow. I think you're probably the first non-subscriber. I'm just having fun. I found your channel, definitely subscribing. I don't know if I had any other people subscribe to my channel from my stream. I've seen Mexicans from that region who look just like the Olmec heads. Yeah, exactly. You see what I mean? Do you know the voodoo religion? Yeah, I'm not like 100% from, like, I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, but I know about it, you know. I know an okay amount about it. Do you think that if more entertainment depicting African civilization were to be made, it could potentially make a bigger impact? Definitely, 100%. That is my ultimate goal in life. I want to be a full-time creator, and part of that encompasses, I'm an artist. I can draw, I can animate, as you could tell from my Cities Built by African series. I have that animated character. But one of my ultimate goals is to make make animations and cartoons and movies and stuff based on African history. Like, you see a movie, this epic movie that takes place in the Middle Ages, and these big city gates, like, you know, they kind of like open up and like some warriors come running out and they're at war with their neighboring kingdom. You'll see that for Europeans, you'll see that for Asians, you never see that for Africans. And I want to change that. Same, I don't think Olmecs were African, but they look like Melanesians or other oceanic people. Yeah, I mean, like I said, people are people. You're gonna find features in every race, including the heads I just showed you guys that look Asian. You know, saw that cat wallpaper. Yeah, that's my cute little kitty. You know what? I'll bring her right now just to say hi to the stream. She's not gonna be very happy, but I'm gonna bring her right now. Here she is. Her name's Ono. Say hi, Ono. Say hi. She was sleeping all cozy on the couch in the living room. Alright. You're free to go. You're free to go, little creature. I believe the media representation of Africa is vital. I agree, because most of the representation of Africa portrays things like terrorist organizations like Boko Haram or starving children, you know. I believe Christopher Columbus documented black people who had been trading with Native Americans long before. See, Ivan Sertima says that in his books, but his actual journals don't say any of that stuff. Like, that's the problem. Christopher Columbus, he described I read it myself, he described the natives as being not black nor white, but more... but like the people of the Canary Islands, with brown skin and hair like that of a horse's tail. Black straight hair like that of a horse's tail. That doesn't sound like a sub-Saharan African at all to me. What do you think of Africa today? I mean, that's a very broad topic. What do you mean? I want to make an African video game so bad, like Total War. They do have African civilizations in games like that, which is cool, but we need Africa more in like mainstream stuff, you know? Like, for example, the game Chivalry. I'm a gamer. I'm not sure if you guys would have guessed that. I love video games. I play online games. I'm very competitive in these games. I'm very good at the games I play. There's a game called Chivalry. And you have 3 choices. You can be a knight, a Viking. Wait, is this chivalry? No, it's not chivalry. But I forgot the name of the game, but it's... God, I can't remember. But you could be a knight, a Viking, or samurai. You know, like, there's never any African equivalents in games like that. There's never, like, a knight, a Viking, a samurai. Not even me, despite the fact that I'd like to say I have a pretty good amount of knowledge in African history. I can't name of one warrior class from ancient Africa. Not one. Because it's just never represented, you know? Like, why isn't there, like, you know, knight, samurai, or whatever the warriors of Benin Empire were called, you know? Like, they never equally represent them. You should do collab with Chris Miller. He's a black YouTuber who draws and makes animation. He makes art representing black people. Yeah, that's pretty cool. By the way, what's up, Titan? I saw you earlier. I meant to greet you. Yeah, Monday, by the way, is probably when I'm gonna pick a few moderators. Probably pick like 3 moderators, maybe like 2 or 3. And those who attend all of my streams will be the ones that I pick. There are a few I remember them, and the ones, even if I don't, my bot tracks who visits my stream and chats the most. So those are the ones that are gonna those are the ones I'm gonna shoot, who are gonna be the moderators. And KB Titan, you're in all of my streams. You're always one of the first guys to comment my videos. You're always there. I appreciate it. You're one of my most. I mean, this isn't downplaying everyone else. I appreciate all you guys being here, old subscribers, new subscribers, but KB Titan, you're one of my most loyal and consistent viewers. I appreciate it. Just gonna shout you out right now. The Conda is an African club sword that fairly unknown I found 3 years ago. Showed up Michael B. Jordan's hand in a Black Panther poster with a doubt that this movie is going to be important. Sailors back then were fond of creating tall tales. Just keep in mind all the stories of sea monsters and mermaids. Yeah, exactly. If Africans were trading with America, they'd have knowledge of iron. Exactly. But they claim that the natives of the Caribbean had metal-tipped spears called guanin, which were made of bronze. But, I mean, Africans were not using bronze-tipped spears, you know? So that, I don't think that really explains anything. Boy, what's your stream account? Add me. Who are you talking to, Afro Man? Your Steam account. Oh, Steam account. Probably shouldn't give that out publicly, but, yeah, just send me a private message or something. I could, actually, I'll do it right now. I haven't been gaming as much since I've been live streaming. I've been really working hard to just get these videos and live streams and stuff pushed out. I've been really trying my best to make the stream the best it can be lately, so I haven't been gaming nearly as much. But I used to game for several hours every day, and that's actually part of why I haven't been uploading as often, because I spend most of my time gaming. But with all the support and the donations and stuff I've been receiving, it's been really motivating to hop back on. Like, I knew I had loyal subscribers and loyal fans and stuff like that, but with that first test stream, when I got 32 viewers, that really motivated me, because even my live stream for gaming, I've never got that kind of consistency, not once. Which, again, I think has to do with being black. You know, when somebody sees a black streamer, they assume I'm going to be inconsistent, I'm going to be crappy at the game I'm playing, and I'm probably going to mostly be playing, like, Madden and stuff. You know, it's... Most of my white friends, they get at least some viewers. Even if they're not even that good, they get at least, like, a few viewers, like, come in their chat and say, what's up? For me, the majority of the time I stream my games, I'll get, like, 1 to 2 viewers every few days, and they leave within like 10 seconds without saying a word. So, just being an African equivalent to Asian animation, that would be cool. I agree, that would be pretty cool. An Inca emperor almost had the knowledge of iron in 1500, but he and Incas heard a weird voice. That's pretty cool. I never heard about that before. But, however, one little known fact is that the Inca were actually in a Bronze Age. Like, bronze was still expensive, don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of people still did use stone in the Inca Empire, but bronze was a well-known thing throughout the empire. All the nobility, all their weapons were made of bronze. They were one of the only Native American cultures. Actually, they were the only Native American culture, and a few surrounding ones, to have been definitively documented being capable of full-blown smelting of ores. Like, there were Native Americans, like, in the Caribbean area and the Great Lakes who could melt down raw native ores, or well, like, or not melt them down, but you know, just like smelt them, like heat them up and forge them. But the Inca were the only Native Americans known to smelt raw ore, mine ores from rocks, and smelt the ores out of them. So it's pretty interesting. I believe in the coming decades, especially Africa will go through a rebirth and strengthen the culture as well as technology. I agree. Chaos naturally organizes itself over time. First time watching a stream on your channel? Oh, well, I hope you're enjoying it. Like, these streams, like, unlike my videos, you know, it's nice that we can interact with each other, ask questions, answer them directly. So I really hope you enjoy She's a Warrior. I hope I said that right. By the way, guys, again, share my stream on your Facebook, whatever, you know, like, we need to send these messages out here. We need to collect like-minded individuals together and discuss this stuff, you know. We need to discuss this. We need to teach it. We need to encourage it. I got viewers who are like, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old, and I got viewers who are like 60 Vietnam veterans, you know, like, we need to all come together and build and grow upon this and really spread this knowledge to the world. Create a new generation that is actually interested and excited to learn and talk about African things. Like, if someone talks about a samurai wielding his katana and fighting some warriors, people are like so excited, like, oh my god, that's awesome, I want to learn about that, I want to know about that. But the moment you say something about an African warrior, people are like, oh, some guy in a grass skirt and a spear, you know? We need to change those perceptions. We need to make people excited to learn and know about African history. Because there are exciting things about it, it's just nobody knows about them and nobody wants to talk about them or make movies or games about them. Like, whenever I show people my drawings, they assume that they are Romans. Like, I have a drawing of a Benin warrior and people assume he's Roman. They're like, oh, is that a Roman warrior? I'm like, no, he's from the Benin Empire. They're like, oh, really? Well, no, they're like, what's the Benin Empire? Like, it was a medieval African empire in Nigeria, and you could just see their expression, just like, you know, what? From Africa? Really? Yeah. They're like, oh, what tribe were they? They weren't a tribe. They are not a tribe to this day. They're an ethnic group. And they built a kingdom. They were not a tribe. You know, we need to change those perceptions. We need to make it to where people, you mention something African and people automatically know what it is. I love your optimism. Thank you, Jose. I'm, you know, that's what it requires. It needs. You know, we need to come together and do this. We need to change it. What if Jesus landed on Africa instead of the Middle East? That's why I'm not religious. You know, like, that's another reason I don't stick to one particular religion. If Jesus is supposed to be the savior of all of mankind, why was he so biased in where he performed all these miracles? Why didn't he go and perform these miracles on the Olmec or the Australian Aboriginals? Why did he put all these miracles on Europeans and Middle Easterns and North Africans, you know? That's why I don't really buy into it personally. But we can talk about that in a different video. I think Africa has huge potential for capturing people's minds because people know so little. Exactly, it's untapped potential. I always tell people that when I draw my characters and stuff and talk about all my ideas, I'm like, it's an untapped realm of potential. People don't know anything about it, and I'm going to talk about it. And once I get people, a good group of people to really know and love and be passionate about the topic, it can really go somewhere. Yeah, because Africa is where Homo sapiens come from. I don't know why this YouTube filter is so sensitive. I mean, it's fine and all, because it'll lower the possibility of getting the racist bigots, but it's pretty cool. First time watching stream on your channel. Yeah, I read that before, Shiz at Warrior. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm not sure if you subbed yet. I'm not sure if my sub alerts are even working right now for some reason, but It's supposed to pop up saying you were annexed into the Empire if you subscribe to me. But I haven't seen any at all. Maybe I just didn't notice. It's supposed to pop up with like the sound of war drums. But yeah, I appreciate that though. If you did sub, I don't know why it's not showing. Maybe I should check my my alerts really quick. Give me a second. Alright, this is just a test alert. Just a test. Nobody's actually subbing. This is me testing. Oh yeah, never mind. Okay, yeah, see? Someone just subbed. I guess I didn't need to test it. So it does work. But thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and I'm glad you're enjoying my stream. Yeah, because you want to really melt brains, start talking about inventions we've made to modern civilization. I did. Truth Teacher, my most recent video. Not the streams, my most recent like video was talking about top 5 achievements made on the African continent. Oh, you unsubbed and resubbed, tested. Nice. Thanks, Mr. Not gonna say your name, but I'll call you Mr. O. Thanks, Mr. O. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but that video, I backed it up with Harvard University, Guinness Book of World Records, PBS, National Library of Medicine, and I still am getting backlash being called Afrocentric. That's actually why I started the stream in the first place, because I just wanted to, you know, kind of vent and discuss it with you guys. It's crazy. I had this guy who's so dead set on me being an Afrocentric just from that video, when even though all my stuff is factual. You make a video about America's current relations with Africa, maybe sometime in the future. I could, but like I said, Shizo, I think you just joined the stream recently. When it comes to video requests, my goal is to become a full-time streamer and be able to spread this stuff all the time, because, you know, work, school, stuff gets in the way, and I want to be able to stream and make videos every day, all the time. In order to do that, you know, I have to be funded. I have to buy better, like, all my equipment, it costs money, it costs time, and time literally is money. So, my patrons and my donators are the ones who I prioritize when it comes to video ideas, so. Not trying to be, you know, greedy or anything and just trying to milk you for your cash, but yeah. If you want to know the link to my Patreon, type in !Patreon in my chat. Same for donations, !donation or donate. You're filling the void of home team history that home team history left. Yeah, it's kind of sad that he did leave, because at one point we were talking actually via private email about doing a collaboration. And he said he was really busy with other projects at the moment, but he was extremely interested in doing one with me. Like, he saw my videos and he loved them. I love his videos too. And I think we could learn a lot from each other. He's a very smart guy, like way smarter than me. Like, he's really intelligent. He has the same style of video as me, and we could definitely have done some great things together. And it's a shame that he did leave, but if one of you guys can reach out to him, if either any of you guys are his patrons and you want to reach out to him and see if we can do some kind of collaboration in the future, that would be awesome. But yeah. Yeah, I debated that guy with you. He was a white supremacist. Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember. It's kind of, like, I'm used to it, but at the same time I'm not. It's like, it's sad that no matter whether you do the right thing or not, you're still labeled as the bad guy. And it sucks, even because a lot of these people are obviously just trolls, but a lot of them are obviously just being like, they're obviously just so ignorant to the point where their mind is already made up on what they think, and no matter what you say or do, it's not gonna change. Like, you could literally open a dictionary and look up the word bigot and their name's gonna be there. Like, that's how they are. So do you think the US will fall sooner or later? I think the Western world, unless something seriously goes wrong, like a zombie apocalypse, I think the Western world will prevail, despite how unenthusiastic people are about it. Because we have access to, like, pretty much anything we want. And there's always going to be this little bubble of people. Even if it's a small amount, there's going to be a little bubble of people who will survive and thrive and adapt to what happens, even if the majority doesn't. So, that's my view on it, at least. Mankind thrives when things go wrong. They thrive the most when things go wrong. That's why Europeans developed like such really strong armor, because they were the first to develop things like the iron crossbow, the steel crossbow, for example, and guns, like the most advanced guns. That's why they had the best armor, for example, you know. Or Europe had a tradition of stone walls built, city walls built of stone. So that's why they developed things like ballista and catapults and cannons, you know. Do you know any other channels similar to yours? I don't. Most channels that are related to mine and my related videos are usually Afrocentric, and it's pretty sad. Do not, I repeat, do not go to her channel, but there's one who is always a recommended channel related to mine, known as Cynthia G. Please don't go to her channel. I don't want you to support her at all, please. But Cynthia G, I shouldn't have even said her name. She is so popular. She makes like $9,000 a month on her Patreon. Her monthly goal is set to 1,000. She makes $9 grand a month, and all of her videos, all of her freaking videos are her attacking Europeans, saying like white people do this, white people that, or white people are bad. Like, she is the most racist person ever. Yet she is like so damn popular, and it blows my mind, because it's like, even me, even though I'm teaching factual stuff and on a neutral, racially unbiased basis, I'm real, you know. What I'm saying is how I feel, how I really am. And I'm not nearly as popular, and who knows if I ever will be, you know. So then again, you know, I'm not a girl, and naturally people are probably going to gravitate more towards females who are, I mean, she's attractive, so, you know, people are going to naturally gravitate more towards an attractive female than an ugly guy like me, so. That's what Roman said, though. What did Roman say? Do you think US will fall? Yeah, it will be like all empires. Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying, Afro. The Romans thought they were, you know, perfect. The Titanic was unsinkable. Like, I get that, but the Western world has made such an impact on the world, the entire world, that the likelihood of the entire Western world failing, especially the US, because if the US falls, they got people in Europe to pick them back up, or at least try to. So it's different these days. But from the Romans came the British, yeah, exactly, and the U.S. and pretty much Western civilization as a whole. Today, the relics of the Roman Empire still exist. The Roman Empire is not dead. We still use their writing system. Even the Capitol building of the United States is based on Roman architecture. So the Roman Empire is still alive and thriving to this day. What do you think of Clyde Winters? I think he's Afrocentric. Simple. Why do African Americans think ancient Europeans were black? Or ancient Egyptians were black? Because that's kind of why I don't like the term African American. Egypt is in Africa, so Egypts are African. And people assume that this entire massive chunk of land, the second largest continent on the globe, they associate that with our history. Which to an extent I do too with my channel. I'm not gonna lie, like I do. But because Egypt is the most advanced peoples and the oldest and most ancient peoples of the African continent, they include them in that pool of Africa and say that they were they try to claim that they were our history. And that's why in my videos, I'm not sure if you've noticed or not, but in my videos I don't really discuss Egyptian history or even Nubian history at all. So why do African Americans think ancient Egypt or Zaza Ali is the finest sister I know on YouTube? She actually talks sense. Yeah, if you guys have any recommendations for channels, Probably better to wait for me to get mods, because you know it's gonna be too much work to take down these nodes myself while streaming. I literally need 3 monitors. I have 2 monitors, but I need 3. I thought 2 would be enough for this, but it's not. It really isn't. So, sorry for something you touched on earlier, but would you make a video about African diaspora, pre-colonial era places in, like India, etc.? Well, I kind of did touch on it. People request videos all the time. Even before the influx of requests for my live streams, I've had more than enough ideas for videos. Just the time and the motivation to do them has been the biggest barrier. So those who support my channel are the ones who I prioritize. I've had donations like KB Titan. I'm not sure if you're still here, KB Titan, but he's donated my channel. Suede Component. Not only has he donated, but he's also a patron. He's pledged $5 per video to my channel. People like that who are supporting my goal of being able to do this full time, not being interrupted by work or school, just full time YouTube. That's my ultimate goal. People like that are the ones who are gonna get front loaded for video ideas. So yeah, KB Titan, I really appreciate that. Even if it's like 50 cents, you know, like if you're contributing some of your hard earned cash to my cause, to our cause, you know, to the empire. You know, we're like that's my ultimate goal. Like that says a lot about you, not as supporting my channel, but as a human being. You are so passionate about this topic, and you support my goals and my plans for this stuff so much that you are literally contributing some of your hard-earned cash to helping reach the point where I can do this all the time. You know, if I made enough money to pay all my bills from this channel, I would stream every single day. I would make videos. Like, that's all I would do, you know, because I love this. Whether I'm getting paid for it or not, I absolutely love what I do. Like, I love talking about the stuff. I love discussing it. I love being here with you guys. This stream's been going on for over 3 hours now. Like, that's crazy. 3 hours the stream's been going on, and I'm still having fun. I'm still happy. Like, I got no donations, no patrons, but I'm still having fun. Like, I enjoy what I do, and I would do it no matter what. But if I receive support while doing it, it motivates me even more and allows me to do it more often. So that's my whole basis on it. I'll read the comments later, but I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Just being real, gonna mute my mic because apparently in my gaming streams people could literally hear me pee from the other room, so don't really want to relive that. So I'll be right back. Sorry guys, forgot I muted my mic. I'm sorry about that. I was saying I appreciate that. Talk. Thank you for the support. I didn't notice. I need to really have like some really obvious notifications for that kind of stuff. I wish I could link my Patreon. YouTube allowed a way to link your Patreon account to YouTube so you would know. But I really appreciate that. I wish there was like some, cause I'll do some alerts right now. For example, I'm gonna do a test alert for donations. For example. You know, that's a test alert for a donation. Here's a test alert for a super chat. You know, a test alert for a sponsor. I didn't really do anything special with sponsors because I don't foresee myself getting a sponsor anytime soon. And then a test alert for a subscriber is right here. Oh, hold on. That kind of messed up a bit. There we go. Yeah. So, I really wish there was something for patrons, because patron support is probably the strongest, considering it is a recurring thing. Like, it's a pledge. It's a, hey, I am going to give $1 per video you upload because I like your stuff that much. That's what Patreon accounts, that's what Patreons do. And I wish that there was some sort of system to appreciate people like that. I mean not that I don't want to appreciate you myself from a interpersonal level, but that's what I wish there was a system like that, because right now it's I just don't feel like my words are do enough justice. I want the whole stream to see, like, outright, as soon as you, like, bam, you know, Yetek has become a patron. He has pledged this amount of money to From Nothing stream. I want everyone to know that. I want everybody to know how awesome you are. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that again. Thank you. So what did I miss, guys? Go ahead and feel free to ask again. I'm eating cheese, by the way. Don't judge. My cat's a part mouse. She loves cheese too. Come here. Here, I'll bring her so you guys can. She's part mouse, I swear. See how much she loves cheese. Every time I open up one of these little cheese packets, she immediately, like, the very second I look down, she's already just staring up at me like, where's my piece of cheese? How much do you think other countries contribute to Africa's lack of stability and lack of prosperity today? Well, there is neo-colonialism, which basically, despite that African countries are liberated, their infrastructures and economies are framed out to cater towards European nations. So they're still dependent on European ways of life and European ambitions for their success. All the resources, the amount of things they export and import are based and modeled around the Western world. On top of that, the Chinese, who are becoming an increasingly more powerful force, increasingly more comparable to Western nations, are doing the same thing. They're also neo-colonizing Africa. So, yeah. Basically, they're not contributing toward the stability of Africa at all. And then on top of that, I mean, it sounds good, bringing missions to support Africa, bring them like free food and stuff like that for the starving children and stuff like that. It's not going to really help the situation, because in order to really move out of the fringes of darkness and poverty, people giving you free stuff is not going to help. It's not going to give you the mindset you need to go above and beyond and create your own systems to counteract these things. You're going to be like, oh, we'll be okay. Europeans are going to bring us free food in the next 2 months. We'll be all right. You know, so, yeah. I just got an email. Somebody donated me $5, anonymous. If you're donating me straight to my PayPal or GoFundMe, it's anonymous. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not gonna call the name. Those are anonymous donations, but thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate that. If you want your donations to be public, make sure you donate via my Streamlabs, which you can find in the link !donate, or you donate via Super Chat, which is the $sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat. If you want it to be public for everyone to see who did it and how much, that's how you do it. It'll pop up right on the stream and say bling, or with a little coin symbol and the tip jar and all that. It'll do all that good stuff, and it'll tell everyone you did it. So just making that clear right now for people who are donating. But I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that, Anonymous. Like, it really means a lot to me. Just clarify the issue of whether Egyptians were black or not. To answer the question, we have to define what is meant by black. Yeah, black is a construct made by European imperialism. Like, there is no solid definition of or parameters for black, but to this day, black is usually associated with negativity, because if the moment someone says anything positive about blacks, there's an instinctive reaction to tear down the black accomplishments or point out the negatives. Like we were talking about earlier in the chat, I'm not sure if you were here before, but we were talking about how people will try to claim the Hausa or the Ethiopians or the Somalians are part Asian or part black or whatever. But the moment they discuss like Somalian pirates, for example, they're gonna say they're black Africans. Like it's a cultural bias that has been enforced over the past few centuries. So such thing as a Middle Eastern look, they are very people. Egyptians even today range in skin tone from dark to very light. Yeah, exactly, true teacher. We discussed that before you joined. Like I said the same thing. Like it's a cultural melting pot down there or up there. Maybe people can't. I mean, people can't have a discussion about Africa without bringing the race of the Egyptians. Yeah, sweaty component. I agree. That's why I don't discuss Egypt in my videos at all. I never, ever talk about Egypt, and I don't even talk about Nubia, even though Nubia was undeniably a black civilization. I don't talk about either of them. I focus like 99% of my attention on sub-Saharan Africa. So, shoe drives actually put political business out of business real talk. Founders of ancient Egypt were from the Horn of Africa, Sudan region. They're certainly not black sub-Saharan Africans. Like I said, in addition to IQ, that's one of the topics I avoid in my channel. It's just Egypt is talked about enough. We need to learn about. Okay, I'm a black American, and black Americans descend from Central and Western Africans. So Egypt is completely irrelevant to my history. Thus, I'm not going to talk about that, especially considering it's already talked about enough. The only history we learn about is Egypt. The moment people talk about African history, Egypt, Nubia, Nubia. It's like, we know already. Like, let's talk about the Benin Empire of Nigeria. Let's talk about the Ashanti defeating the British, you know? Like, let's talk about that. So, yeah. To the Native American people, yes, African, but just am a big fan on African Americans telling me they're Hebrew Israelites and Moors and minds. Yeah, I don't buy into any of that crap, honestly. Sorry, I'm eating, guys. We've been streaming for 3 hours. I've had to pee. I gotta eat. Like, I'm a human, you know. I gotta do human things. So, sorry if my eating is a bit obnoxious. I'm eating some cheese, some string cheese right now. My cat seems to have decided not to stay around. Usually when I'm eating cheese, she's sitting right next to me, just like waiting for a little piece to get dropped next to her. I'm very behind on the chat, guys. Holy crap. Have friends from Egypt. I go to Coptic. I mean, just for the sake of keeping things going, I can't respond to all your comments, guys. I'm sorry. I stress all the time. If you want a better chance of getting your comment read, just submit it again. But yeah, I'm not gonna read through all of these. I have friends from Egypt. I go to Coptic Egypt church, and they are all different shades of shades. Some of them could pass even my family as Afro-American. Yeah, exactly. Like, Egypt is a cultural melting pot. That's my argument. Like I said, I don't like to discuss it, but that is my argument. They're a cultural melting pot, and they always have been. You look at their art, and you'll see people of all shades throughout their art. So, DNA traces of Nilo-Saharan, S&D East African, such as Omadic. Awesome. Yeah, I got no African ancestry, no North African ancestry whatsoever. All of mine is primarily West and Central. I'm like even like Southern Africa, I'm only like 1%. Like, almost all of my DNA is West and Central African history. So West Africa is always in an interesting place in history. Yeah, I love West African history. It's so intricate and interesting, and like, we never talk about it, and it saddens me that we don't. West Africans are their own people. Certain ethnic groups may have originated in the West, but the majority did not come from the Nile. Exactly. So why do we talk about the Nile so much? We should talk about West Africa. West Africans were amazing in their own right. They didn't need Egypt or the Zulu of South Africa to teach them what they know. They had walled cities. They had armored warriors on horseback. They had cavalry. They had international trade networks. They had their own stuff going on, and it was very impressive. So I don't know why we don't talk about it. You should do a video on the not people of Nigerian and terracotta sculptures. Yeah, I could work something like that maybe in the future. But like I said, you know, patrons take priority. So people like Swede and I can't remember how to say your name. It would start with a Y. I'm sorry, Yatok, I think. Yatok. People who are patrons will take priority when it comes to new video ideas. I mean, not that, you know, I appreciate your support and your consistency, KB Titan, I really do. But people who support the goal of making this channel into a full-time thing are the ones who I'm going to focus the most on. Dude, the Hidden Colors talks about, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know what you're talking about. It was an ancient stone settlement in Ghana, or in modern day, what was it? It was somewhere in West Africa, but yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Hidden Colors also talks about a lot of Afrocentric BS. So, I don't really agree. I don't agree with it fully. Like, I watched it. I was excited to watch it. I watched it. They had a lot of really good points, a lot of facts, a lot of stuff that really made me happy. Like, I was literally smiling. I was like, oh my god, this is what we needed all this time. This is like a documentary version of my YouTube channel. This is great. And then all of a sudden they start saying things like, the Irish were black and Beethoven was black, and I'm like, they really need to put some more control over who they're hiring for this kind of stuff. So I just read an article not so long ago about Sub-Saharan African DNA did not show up in Egypt until about 1,500 years ago. Eurocentric stuff. Clearly, there is no way that Africans clearly, there's no way they couldn't have gotten there until 1,500 years ago. That's BS. Just gonna say it right now. I'll become a patron, bro. Oh, thanks, KB Titan. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to pressure you guys. I'm just letting. I mean, I just have to make my intentions known. I will do these videos no matter what. I will interact with you guys no matter what. I love all you guys. I love doing these streams with you. I mean, I've been streaming for 3 hours now, over 3 hours. You know, it's pretty awesome. I'm having fun. I'm smiling. Like, I love being in a group of like-minded people and discussing this stuff. But the support I receive makes it easier to do this. It makes it to where I can do this more often and more, you know, with less pressure, you know? So I appreciate that, KB Titan. If you do become a patron, I really appreciate that. And feel free to submit an idea for a video, and I'll jump right on it. By the way, don't hate on Von Sartema and Chica Diop. Check out the J.A. Rogers. I mean, I literally have his book. I bought his book. You know, because I found it interesting. It's very interesting. To this day, I still find it extremely interesting. It's a really cool thing to read. But his facts are a little iffy, you know? Like, he talks about things that are not proven. He says, like, African skeletons were discovered here, or whatever. And it's like, I look it up, I research it, I cannot find anything validating his claims. I mean, some of them I can, but ones like the African skeletons being discovered in America, I cannot validate that. I cannot find it. Sorry guys, I gotta pee again. Like I said, 3 hours of streaming, you know, my human body can only take so much. I gotta do the normal stuff. So, you see I got waters here, and yeah, so I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and mute the mic so you guys can't hear it. Sorry guys, forgot to unmute. But yeah, I said I'll read my last comment from Orlando's last comment, Orlando Greenhill's last comment, because it's really hard to keep up with these chats, guys. Feel free to resubmit your questions and stuff, because but basically Orlando said science has proven that Von Satima wrote Ivan Satima has wrote that. I will send you the video as proof, as evidence. My Nightbot is very strict on links, so it'll block it. But if you want to send it on my Facebook or my Twitter, just hit the according command, like exclamation point Facebook or exclamation point Twitter, and send it on there. Orlando, your comment was blocked for review. Like I said, my chat, I don't want much language in it. They're younger children who watch my chat, so, or watch my streams and watch my videos, and I don't personally care about cursing, but they do. So yeah. And by the way, this monthly tribute coffer, guys, if you do decide to contribute towards the coffer, the only donations that actually contribute towards that coffer and actually fill up that coffer are ones done through Streamlabs. If it's a super chat or a PayPal or a Patreon or whatever, it doesn't affect it whatsoever. I was responding to Orlando's comment. But yeah, the Streamlabs ones are the only ones that actually go towards that coffer. I wish I could make it to where all donations collectively went to that, but they don't. There's no way to do that, unfortunately. So, those people have always been North African. By the way, you are aware of the fact that slavery was not black issue. There were many Eastern European nations who were bought as slaves in North Africa. Yeah, I'm aware. They called them the Circassian people. The Arabs would call them Circassians, and entire villages in Western Europe, like in Spain and Portugal, would be abandoned completely. Like, the coastal regions were not even inhabited at all because of the risk of being taken as slaves. So, trust me, I know. It wasn't just an African thing. What comment were you responding to? I already read that. Dude, can you leave me your info on my vids too? I'm sorry for the cursing. I can't stand WS keep up the good work, man. WS. Not sure what you mean by WS. Can you leave me your info on my vids too? No, dude, like I said, type in the command in my chat. Type right now, !Facebook, or !Patreon, or !Twitter, and it will give you a link. Like, it's that simple. The command system's gonna be very useful. Do you watch anime? No, I tried to like anime. I like the idea of anime. I like some of... You'd think I would like anime because of my personality, but I could just never get into it. I don't know why. I just can't. WS means white supremacist? Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm a little ignorant with that. Who's worse? What do you mean who's worse? Both of them are cancer? White or black supremacists? Yeah, I agree with Donzo. They're both cancer. Like, if you think your people are better just because of race, you're an idiot. Simple. So for Donzo, this idea that anytime you see dark North Africans it's because of slavery is just historically a cultural false. I agree, truth, completely. Like, not all black people in non-sub-Saharan areas are slaves. Like Saint Maurice from Europe, for example, he was a black African and he clearly wasn't a slave. He was a saint, you know? Like, that's more than most white Europeans can say for the time. Hebrew Israelites, are you into metal, punk rock? Not really. I like rock. I do like rock, actually, but I don't like metal. They deny even African white supremacists are devils. I agree. All supremacists are devils, even blacks. Yes, and he was North African. He was North African, but he was undeniably black. Every single historical depiction of Saint Maurice was of a black man. A very dark-skinned black man with big lips, you know? He was undeniably sub-Saharan African. Or, well, his traits matched those of sub-Saharan Africans. Undeniably. That's false. Saint Maurice is a saint in our Orthodox Church. Yeah. Are we coming up on 4 hours now, guys? This is gonna be my longest stream to date. We got 23 likes. Let's go, guys. Click that like if you're enjoying the stream. Click that like button, guys. Please do it. Like let's get some. Yeah, there we go. We got 2 more likes right when I said that. Let's get some more, guys. Let's get up to 30 likes at least. 30 likes, 27. Come on, 3 more at least. 3 more. Even more than that would be nice, but let's get to 30 likes. Before the stream even goes to archive mode, let's get to 30. At least. Let's say that his features have been wrongly attributed only to sub-Saharan Africans in its stereotype. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there is no denying that sub-Saharan African features are markedly different from North Africans. Not saying that there are not people of North Africa who do have features like mine, for example. I have huge lips. Even for a black person, I have huge lips. You know, like you know. But I'm not saying there are no North Africans who do have features like that, but they are more prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa. Come on, guys, 2 more likes. We're at 28. Let's get to 30. If you're in the stream, we got 14 viewers, guys. 14 viewers. 2 more people. Let's get to 30 likes. Let's do this. Do you think white supremacists should be a chance to change and grow as a person? I usually do. The people in my comment section, I will comment them. I will try to change their opinion. I will try to, whatever grievances they have with my videos, like they label me as Afrocentric, hence why I made the stream in the first place. Or hence why I went live tonight in the first place. They'll label me as Afrocentric or whatever. I usually try to enlighten them, just like, hey, look, dude, I'm not Afrocentric. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm just gonna let you know I have a video attacking Afrocentric people. I have all my videos are backed up with facts and historic evidence. I don't try to claim we were better. You know, you could take it or leave it, but that's who I am. That's what I'm about. And if I do that, and they're like, oh, you know, okay, you're right, which is extremely rare. But when they do that, cool. If they don't, it's like, well, you know, you're a bigot. Oh, we annexed another guy into the. We annexed someone else into the empire, guys. But anyway, it doesn't usually happen. When it does, it's great. But most of the time, they're just stuck in their ways. They're bigots. So I still give them a chance because it's just the way I am. Let's see the features of. I already read that part. Yes, more prevalent, but not exclusive. I agree. They're not exclusive, but they are more prevalent, and that's why people. That's how people think. You know, if the crime rate. If blacks commit more crimes statistically than whites, people are gonna assume all blacks are, you know what I mean? Like that's how people think. So, people are like, black people are only in sub-Saharan. There are more depictions of Moors and blacks than Moors as blacks than anything else. I agree. I completely agree. But as you know, the 20th century dawned and people try to do everything they can to tear down the history of blacks. They would be like, no, Moors weren't blacks, they were Arabs, they were Berbers, blah, 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 blah. People are like, oh, I already read the hurt. I guess that answers that, haha, this whites come from crime. That's, no, Orlando, that we don't talk like that in my chat. No hate speeches, you know. We can discuss hate, but we can't contribute to hate. Regardless of whether it's black on white or white on black, it's not appropriate for my chat. They do contribute more crime, but that's because they make up a larger percentage of the population. Proportionally speaking, blacks contribute more crime, but whites contribute more in total than whites than black. Whites contribute more in total than blacks, but blacks contribute more proportionally, and that can be explained for many reasons. Poverty is directly linked to crime, and most blacks are poor, and most of them are poor due to lingering effects of 300-something years of slavery and segregation. So, there are black Arabs. Some people think that I'm black Arab. I mean, there are black people everywhere. There's black people in Korea, you know. I mean, there's the world. We're very globalized. So, but I mean, prevalence is key. Whatever race is the most predominant in that region. By the way, guys, sorry for the music, the lackluster music. Like, my last stream was it got a copyright infringement because I used copyrighted music. It was awesome music, but it got copyrighted. So yeah, I'm using this crap until I can find something better. Either way, I think it's better than dead silence. So whatever. I'm not being hateful. I know, but the way you said it can be taken as hateful. So there are Berber Moors, though. I think Moors are more cultural, more racial / ethnic. We're a more multi-race. Oh my god, I can't read. We're a multiracial / ethnic army. They were most Arabics are like, or most Berbers are like a generic, like a brown Arabic like person, but a lot of them were black Africans. So they were mostly cultural, but the majority of them were the majority of them resembled Arabs, though they weren't Arabic. Hester, don't you see street crime happening in affluent African American communities? Yeah, it does. It definitely happens more often in black communities. Put some of that Snoop Dogg? No, because that would definitely get copyright infringements. Speaking of facts, there are counter stats on black crime. Think blacks that got thrown in jail for nothing. Also, keep in mind, I mean, there is, but either way, regardless of all the corruption of the police departments and stuff, blacks commit more crime in the U.S. proportionally. They just do. Like, nearly half of all inmates in prisons are black, even though we only make up 13% of the population. It's a fact. It's a fact I'm not denying. But there are historical reasons why that is the case. It's not just inherent genetics that make us that way. I could go on I could actually make a video of it later, but it's not inherent nature. It's the fact that we are put at such a disadvantage to begin with. poverty leads to crime. You know, North Korea has more crime than South Korea, for example. Like, poor places, Eastern Europe has more crime than Western Europe because Eastern Europe's poorer. Poverty leads to crime. People do what they need to do to survive and make ends meet. People will steal things and, you know, deceive and cheat people just to be able to put food on the table and feed their family. That's how crime usually happens. I mean, I'm not saying that's how all crime happens, but that's where it develops in places like that. So let me go ahead and check my emails, my Patreon, because I don't get notifications for that stuff, and I don't want to ignore anybody who does. All right, so I got anonymous donation for $5, like I said earlier. Appreciate that. If you want me to shout you out in chat, and go for it. It was a $5 donation that happened 20 minutes ago, or 26 minutes ago. Whoever that might be, I appreciate it. Patreon account. I got I have 2 patrons. I have Suedo Component and I keep forgetting how to say your name. I'm sorry. It starts with a Y. But I appreciate the you guys pledging to the Empire. I really appreciate that, guys. I don't believe that blacks can make more crime, and their color is of crime of reason that blacks have been put in jail like that. Keep in mind, blacks serve harsher sentences than whites for the same. I mean, that's typically how it goes, you know. Like, men will suffer harsher sentences than women because men commit more crimes than women. You know, that's typically how it goes. I'm not saying it's right, but that's typically how it goes. Like, you'll see those stories of teachers having sex with their students. If a man has sex with a 14-year-old girl, he's going to be in prison and labeled as a pedophile for the rest of his life. Labeled as a sex offender. But if you see all the time where female teachers have sex with their students and they get to go home to their kids, you know? They would not let a male near any kids if he did that. Period. Not even his own, so... Yeah, I know you're not talking about sexually, or I'm saying, like, in general, sexual or gender or race, they go based on what happens the most often. Men commit more crimes than women. Blacks commit more crimes than whites. So typically, those statistics correlate with the harshness of the sentences. I'm not saying it's right, but that's how it is, you know. It was me that donated on PayPal. Oh, well, thank you, Montemusa. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I really do. Thank you. If you want your donations to be publicly recognized, like I said, here, I'll give you an example. If I go to my Streamlabs right now, this is an example donation. It's not a real one. This is a super chat from YouTube. You know, it'll show your name, how much you donated, and then this is a donation through Streamlabs, which will also allow you to have a custom message and will also contribute to the monthly tribute coffer. This is a test for that. So yeah, if you want to be, and you can put a custom message like that pops up in the chat as well for everyone to see, like right on the screen where the stream is, you'll see a custom message. So if you guys, for future reference, if you want to do that, the links are in the description, or you can hit the !donate link in the chat. If you want to be recognized for your donation, because sometimes I'm not gonna notice, and I want to notice, but sometimes I'm not, and I really want everyone to see it, and I want my appreciation to be expressed. So thanks again, though. I really appreciate it, guys. Well, blacks have committed alleged crimes since slavery, and after all, no dissing you, that's been since we've been here. Yeah, but every human commits crimes, period. Humans commit crimes. There are bad people and good people in every group, but those suffering harsher lifestyles are more likely to commit crimes than those not suffering harsh lifestyles. Europe, as a whole, is the richest continent, thus the lowest crime rate. Asians, East Asians more specifically, have even more developed economies and have even lower crime rates. Africa has the poorest economy and has the highest crime rates. The United States has, you know, a little bit of both. You know, we have a developed country, but we also have a lot of underdeveloped areas with high crime rates. That kind of set off the balance of our country as a whole. South America has high crime rates, not as bad as Africa, but they're pretty bad. And they have high crime rates. So, you know, it just really depends on the nation. It really, really does. You're welcome. I really enjoyed the content. Thank you. And I really enjoy you guys coming out to support me, whether it be through chatting, through even just lurking in my chat and reading what everybody says. You know, just being here supports me. And then the donations just goes above and beyond. It's like, hey, I like your content. I want you to accomplish your goal of being able to do this all the time. Like, that donations mean and patrons mean a lot to me. I appreciate that. Why you make excuses for criminals? I'm not making excuses for criminals. There are criminals who are just bad people. I grew up poor, personally. I grew up in a trailer in Ocala, Florida, you know. I had an abusive dad, abusive alcoholic dad. And look how, you know, I turned out fine. I don't commit crimes. You know, like I don't make excuses for my shortcomings. I do what I can to make it in life. I pursue my goals and passions. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm pursuing a goal and a passion. So I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying statistically, if a group of people are oppressed, they will likely produce more criminals because oppressed people naturally are more violent and more resistant and want to do what they can to survive regardless if it's legal or ethical or not. By the way, guys, we're at 29 likes. 30 likes, you know, 30 likes. That's all I ask. 30 likes. There has to be one person who's watching this chat right now who hasn't liked the video yet. Let's get to 30 before we even archive this to an old stream. Oh, there we go, 31 likes. Good job. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You know, we're at 31 likes. That's awesome. I mean, let's keep that number growing. But we hit the 30 mark. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you, Friend of Mythic. By the way, guys, I checked out some of Friend of Mythic's videos. He makes some pretty good videos. You should check out his What If Vikings Stayed in America's video. That was an awesome video. It has 233,000 views on it for a reason. It's a great video. You should check it out. Dude, do you like my PHN? PHN, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Thanks for the shout out. No problem, man. I mean, you deserve it. You know, I know, you know, we're on the kind of the same level as far as subscribers and stuff like that. You know, I can clearly see the passion and the work and the effort you put into your videos. So you deserve it. I'll be right back, guys. Like a minute. All right. Dude, how do you like my PHN? Don't know what that is. Yeah, I still don't know what that PHN is, dude. Sounds like the angst Nazis did to Jews pretty sad. Your sub count is soaring right now, though you're starting to leave me behind. Oh yeah. What, were you higher than me at one point, or? I honestly just checked your channel like a couple days ago. I don't know what compelled me to do it, but I just clicked it one day. I'm like, oh wow, you know, I was surprised. I didn't realize you had so many subscribers. Favorite movie? A favorite movie. It's hard to narrow it down. I do like the movie Avatar. That was a good example, like a fictional example of what people do when money is involved. How little regard they have for people or souls when there's money involved. So that was definitely one of my top, I'd say. This green screen thing. I don't know why it's. Thanks to this fan. I'm gonna turn the fan off really quick. Sorry guys, my green screen looks like crap right now. One of these days I can get a better setup than this, you know. But for now, it's gonna look like crap. My cat just came in here. I'm not sure if you guys could hear it. Let's see. Message deleted. Your message got deleted. What did it say? Hey, that Shani, you should call Shrek on his stream. I don't know why the hell it blocked your comment, dude. Orlando Greenhill says, dude, nice chatting with you. You should call Tariq on his stream and talk to him. He knows a lot. Plus, he'll send you proof of the oldest school in America, science proved. Peace, man. Yeah, I don't know why I blocked his comment. Yeah, I already know, dude. Trust me, the oldest skull in Americas is not Asiatic. It resembles more of an Australian Aborigine than anything else. I saw that. I saw a documentary about it, so I believe you. It was like it dated, but the most enduring racial group of the Americas was about 20,000 years ago when the Siberians crossed over the Bering Strait land bridge. It's saying you posted a link. I don't know why I keep saying you're posting links, dude. I don't know why. I'll try to I'll try to see about leveling out the filter system, or well, kind of toning it down a bit in the future, because these chat filters are way too strict. Google Pinoy Pride and see what it says. Afrocentric is just a black version of Pinoy Pride. I disagree, man. Afrocentric. Listen to the term Afro, which means African. Centric, which means you think you're the center of everything. The world revolves around you. You're in the center. That's how Eurocentric is. It's like it has to be validated or approved or created by Africans. Like everything was validated or approved or created by Africans, and I don't agree with that notion at all. Avatar, what a pretty good movie. My favorite part was when Jake united the tribes. Yeah, I just liked the whole concept of it. You know, like just seeing the weaker people getting taken advantage of because of money. You know, they said it was Black Skull. I didn't post a link. Haha. That's not what Afrocentric means, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, you can call it what you want it, but Eurocentric and Afrocentric are terms. My cat is really messing up my green screen. I don't know why. Stop it! She's just like clawing onto it and pulling it down and making it look like crap. She gets really hyper this time of night. Anyways, homie, I'll talk to you soon. Alright. But yeah, Afrocentric for me, it's like, if you're into African history, there's nothing wrong with that. But Afrocentric, as in the center of everything, implies that you think your people are the best. They're the one all, the be all, the what everybody needs to be, everybody wants to be, everybody came from. You know, so. She's really screwing this thing up. I'm sorry, guys. It's like at night she just gets super hyper and just starts tearing everything up. Alright guys, it was a good stream. Thanks for the 32 likes. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the patron. Our viewer numbers are starting to drop down now. We're down to 10 now. Also, it's midnight, and I've been streaming for 4 hours. That's, oh my god, that's like the longest stream. That's over double as long as my other longest stream. So I really appreciate the views and the conversations, guys, but I gotta get going. But yeah, share my videos to your friends. You know, just please do what you can. Just support me. It doesn't matter how you do it. It could be monetarily, could be sharing my videos, even a simple like, you know, just like I really want to get my messages out there to the world. I really want to collect more like-minded people like us together and just discuss these things and really increase the worldview and just have a good time, you know. At the end of the day, just have a good time together. That's my goal. So if you guys can help me with that, that'd be really greatly appreciated. You already are helping, but you know, just by being here. But I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for taking the time to stop by, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully your dinner is as delicious looking as the one right in front of me right now. So yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you.